associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the HHSAA, are the 36,000 high school sports students in Hawaii. And so we stand. We stand for the runners, soccer and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, administrators, and officials. We stand for the swimmers, football players, and wrestlers. We stand for the golfers, softball, and volleyball players. We stand as the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and all who participate in them and make them possible. Because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
This is your home for Dallas Cowboys football. Hi, this is Jerry Recco. Join us all season long as the Cowboys look to defend their NFC East title and work their way towards Super Bowl 59. We'll bring you all the exciting NFL action each week. Dallas Cowboys football can be heard right here
on Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Brought to you by Ko'olau Federal Credit Union. No matter where on Oahu you stay, you can join Ko'olau FCU today.
Go Cowboys!
Great things come in threes, like the game-winning field goal, a hat trick, and Timmy T's Sandwich Shop, now with 3 locations: Kailua, the Moanalua Shopping Center, and the Kapahulu Shopping Center. Visit TimmyT's.com to skip the line and order online today.
Your brand new home for OIA Athletics, KGU AM, K236CR. Honolulu is the Hawaii Sports Radio Network on 95.1 FM and AM 760.
OIA Athletics on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Brought to you by Dial Electric Supply.
Welcome back to Edward Skippa Diaz Stadium, or Farrington High School, for some high school Hawaii football. Paul Brecht, Michael Lescaro getting ready to bring you all the action tonight between Kaimuki and Kalaheo, OIA Division II. And Michael, first off, how you doing, my friend? Excited to get onto the call with you tonight. Some OIA Division II action under the lights. Never know what could happen.
Yeah, it's been a really long day. I know we both got up early to watch the University of Hawaii football, and that was a game that was definitely winnable for the Rainbow Warriors, but, kind of a rough way to go. I got a chance to go out to Kapolei and check out Kapolei versus Mililani for a bit before this broadcast. Kapolei was up 3-0 at the half, but Mililani comes back to win 21-13, which sets up a potential three-way tie for first place in the OIA Open Division, depending on the outcome of tonight's Kahuku and Campbell games, which is a big game because we all know the transfers that happened this week. But we have this really big game here, too, with Kalaheo and Kaimuki. Kalaheo is a program on the rise. They made some waves last year when they beat Kaimuki on this very field. That was a Kaimuki team with BYU's Iosefa Letuli, as well as current Rainbow Warrior Jeremiah White. But Kaimuki right now with a new head coach under Coach Kavehi Moefu, they haven't been that solid so far. I believe they're at 0-5. Of course, they did not really have a preseason, so they're kind of slow to start. But, the Kalaheo head coach, Coach J. Mason Lee, out of the 2011 graduate of Castle High School, he made it a point where, hey, that team is much better than their record indicates, and they've shown an improvement. I remember the last time we saw them on our airwaves or heard them on our airwaves, it was 23-21 against a Castle team that's making some noise and will make the playoffs. And then, of course, the week after that, they played a McKinley squad. And McKinley, they got their first win since 2019, so that's definitely tough. It was their homecoming. But we might see a good one here. I know Kalaheo, they're going to want to put up points on the board because they don't want it to get into a physical matchup with Kaimuki with their big boys up front. So it's going to be a great battle between two contrasting styles and personalities.
And you're listening to the pregame show brought to you by Timmy T's Sandwich Shop, now with 3 locations. Kailua, the Moanalua Shopping Center, and the Kapahulu Shopping Center. Visit timmytees.com to order online today. And Michael, you brought it up there. Kaimuki, this season 0-5, not exactly what you want at this point in the year. They've gone through a bevy of struggles, though. You mentioned one, not really having a preseason, another one losing some top-end talent from last year's team. And obviously, as the year has gone on, they've tried to work their way back into some games, and you've seen that in their results. The one you mentioned, the one that we had with Castle falling 23-21, that one's super fun. That one came on this field right here at Farrington High School, so a little familiarity for the Bulldogs entering tonight, trying to play a little bit of a spoiler for Kalaheo, who still has OIA Division II hopes alive, correct, Michael?
Yes, they did have a critical loss to Waialua in terms of the head-to-head tiebreakers. Waialua is now 3-3 in the OIA Division II. Kalaheo is 2-3. But if Kalaheo can win out, I know Waialua has a tough game next week as well against Roosevelt, who looked really solid against Kalani last night when they won 50-0. So Kalaheo, you need a win to get in there. And you know what? I'll tell you this about this Kaimuki squad. They look like they have a lot more numbers than we last saw them, because they did bring up a few JV boys up there on their squad. So we'll see what Kalaheo will do today.
And it'll be interesting to see for sure as we talk a little bit about guys coming up. You also talk about some injuries for Kaimuki. The starting center, Taloa Loketi, out tonight with an ankle injury. That kind of seems to be the case for a lot of guys dealing with ankle injuries. Not all of them out, as number 44, Elijah Ungeni, is going to play suit up only on defense tonight for the Bulldogs. Over on the other side, you have Cody Salas and Kamalu Jordan, both dealing with ankle injuries as well. That's your sports injury report, brought to you by Hawaii Pacific Health, creating a healthier Hawaii. As captains going out to midfield, getting ready for the coin toss here this evening. And Michael, when you look at both of these schools, you know that they have some good things. They've gone through some struggles this year. And at the end of the day, you have to play clean football to win against anybody. What are some keys you're looking for on each side for both Kaimuki and Kalaheo tonight to come out here with a victory, whether it be the first one of the year for the Bulldogs or a critical one for the Mustangs?
Yeah, for the visiting squad in the Mustangs, they do have players going both ways, so they don't want to get into a physical match. So their best defense to stop this physical Kaimuki team is a good offense. They're going to look up to put up points. I got a chance to check out Kalaheo earlier this year against Kalani, and they rolled up to a 72-14 victory with quarterback Jude Weber throwing for, I believe he threw for 7 touchdowns. And if I'm not mistaken, he was also the younger brother of one of the special teams player for the Rainbow Warriors, and Reese Weber out of Kailua. So that should be one to do. And, you know, for Kaimuki, you just want to keep this a game. Coach Kavehi Moefu, he said that they're going to want to run the ball. It's going to be tough with a new center, but that's what they're going to want to do. They're going to kind of want to run the ball, establish that dominance, and, you know, control the clock. But if they can't do that, they're going to have to go to their short passing game, which might be effective, but we're going to see what they can do.
Really excited to see what we have in store here tonight as Kaimuki and Kalaheo shake hands at midfield. The coin toss just about done, as 12 minutes on the clock, waiting for the opening kickoff, which will be brought to you by Dial Electric Supply. Once again, that's Dial Electric Supply powering the opening kickoff, powered by Dial Electric Supply, Hawaii's premier lighting distributor and supplier. And Michael, as we wait for this one tonight, you also brought up another big game in what is a really competitive OIA Open division between Campbell and Kahuku here tonight. You got an opportunity to chat with the new quarterback for Kahuku, and kind of cleared up a lot of those rumors about why the family was coming out here now, and had the opportunity to come to the islands at this point. And I just really thought that was important for a lot of people to know, because especially in today's day and world of athletics, both high school and college, and the transfer portal, this one really not like others, just a strange situation that ended up seeing a kid move to a really good football school here in Hawaii.
Yeah, and it's not just one player, but it's two players with the addition of Jacob Mayava, the younger player of Jaden Mayava, who we last saw in Hawaii. He was the starting quarterback for the Kaimuki Bulldogs that won the OIA championship in 2019 under head coach David Taltofi. So definitely that. And that one was a kind of interesting situation too because he could not play. He was deemed ineligible in CIF play in California. So if you can't play your senior year, might as well come back home to the islands to get some playing time. He is already committed to play for SMU, holds offers from at least 6 schools, so you know he's a solid talent. And I believe he is playing today, according to one of my sources, up in the North Shore right now.
Wow, that is it's a pretty interesting matchup. Interested to see how that one ends up. More interested to see how this one ends up as we're ready to go. Kalaheo ready to kick off to Kaimuki. A little bit of a deke at the start. They'll get set now in their all-white uniforms with orange numbers. The opening kickoff is away and will bounce and be recovered. Just like that, Kalaheo recovers the opening kickoff as it is placed beautifully inside Kaimuki territory, and no Bulldogs went after it. Instead, it's Mustangs football inside Kaimuki's 30-yard line. Just like that, second hasn't even gone off the clock yet, Michael.
Well, like Coach Jameson Lee, their best defense is their offense, so might as well give your offense a chance to start this game, take a possession away. But credit to the little small Jeremiah Toilolo with the recovery, who's now lined up at receiver.
Just an absolutely incredible play by Kalaheo to open things up. They'll be on offense first, despite having the opening kickoff. On defense is Kaimuki in their green tops, black bottoms with green and yellow trim down the sides of the pants. Once again, all white uniforms with orange numbers for the Mustangs of Kalaheo. Some substitutions going on here. That opening kickoff was powered by Dial Electric Supply, Hawaii's premier lighting distributor and supplier. Recovered by Kalaheo at the Kaimuki 29-yard line. Has a little bit of personnel confusion here for Kaimuki.
A lot of players coming off, and they're kind of some big players for Kaimuki. There was the linebacker Kanoa Nahino. He is a firecracker. I saw one game where he had maybe like 3 turnovers and turnovers or sacks combined. But we also saw Elijah Ungeni running off the field. He's gonna be he can play all 3 phases of the game, but he gonna be focused on defense. So Kaimuki has the burn on timeout there, which is kind of interesting because normally if I'm the offense, I'm just gonna snap the ball because it's a delay game on the defense, but you know I do think there might be some uniform not malfunction I should say, but some uniform errors because I think some of these pants, I'm surprised they look like pants because I saw a lot of people in they almost look like basketball shorts a little bit.
This has been a very strange beginning to the game as Jude Weber is staying warm over on the Kalaheo sideline. As you mentioned, Kaimuki forced to take a timeout before a snap is even taken after seeing the opening kickoff recovered by the Mustangs. Still no time off the clock. Still 12 minutes left here in the opening quarter and not a snap taken despite a timeout. So now we will finally get the first snap of the game as Kalaheo set up at the 29-yard line of Kaimuki. Bulldogs trying to defend and answer back after a nightmare first opening kickoff. Snap goes, handoff. That's number 1, Nainoa Barbito. And he'll scamper ahead for a gain of about, call it 5 yards. Brings up 2nd down and 5 now for Kalaheo.
Yeah, a lot of window dressing there for Kalaheo with a lot of pre-snap shifts and motion just to get 5 yards. So I kind of like what the Mustangs are doing here.
2 wide receivers split out to the left. 3 wide receivers out left. Running back with Weber in the backfield. 2nd down and 5. Just underway here at Farrington. Handoff. Goes up the middle and past the first down line it looks. It is as the handoff went to number 1 once again. That's Nainoa Barbietto, who a couple of carries for about 11 yards to open this one up, and back-to-back running plays for the Mustangs.
Yeah, great job by Barbietto. He's not really the starting running back. Now he's going to line up out wide in this double-stack formation, so nice to see him get some action. But we seeing Elijah Ungeni back on the field making that tackle.
Snap, handoff, and the ball's on the ground. Ball is on the ground as Kaimuki's going to fall on it. It looks a mishandled handoff between Jude Weber and Vance Ramolete. It's going to be recovered by Kaimuki, and the Bulldogs defense comes up with a big forced takeaway after seeing the opening kickoff recovered by Kalaheo, and it'll be Mustangs ball at their own 22-yard line with no points on the board.
Yeah, if you're Kaimuki after missing that opening hit, not being able to handle that opening kickoff, you take what you can get, and credit to Hilton Edward for being Johnny on the spot to recover that loose ball.
So now Kaimuki, for the first time, will take the field on offense. Gabriel Logan, their quarterback, the junior, stands at 6'2", 160 pounds. And first snap off his hands, loose, still loose in the backfield, and looks like Kalaheo's going to cover it. Another fumble, back-to-back fumbles, one for each side, both sides recovering it. So now it's, once again, Kalaheo football deep inside Kaimuki territory after the first snap for the Bulldogs goes off Gabriel Logan's hands and finds the turf.
Yeah, what's kind of cool about that, or ironic, or kind of funny about that, is that was Vance Ramolete with the recovery for the Mustangs. Why is that funny? It's because he was the running back on that missed handoff for Kalaheo. So, way to get yourself back in there.
Ramolete gives and takes, and here it's given off to Nainoa Barbietto. Once again, Barbato gonna pick up about 3, makes it 2nd down and 7 now for Kalaheo. And like you said before, Barbato not the starting running back for this Kalaheo team typically, but getting the lion's share of the carries here on the first 2 drives as they go to Barbato once again off the left edge, shimmies and gonna get into the end zone for a touchdown. Kalaheo on the board first as Nainoa Barbato, scampers into the end zone for a 12-yard score, and just like that, Kalaheo on the board first, 6-0 pending a PAT with 10-10 remaining here in the first quarter.
Yeah, great job by Barbato at that time to get into the end zone. Looked like the play was actually drawn up for him to go around the right side of the play, but he cuts it back to the left side and able to beat the Kaimuki defender for the touchdown.
Luke Mormon back for the PAT. Kick is up and good. And 7-0 the lead for Kalaheo after a dynamic start to the game on both sides. A recovered opening kickoff by the kicking team and a couple of turnovers leads to a 7-0 Kalaheo lead. We'll step aside real quick. You're listening to OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Great things come in threes, like the game-winning field goal, a hat trick, and Timmy T's Sandwich Shop, now with 3 locations: Kailua, the Moanalua Shopping Center, and the Kapahulu Shopping Center. Visit TimmyT's.com to skip the line and order online today.
Aloha, beautiful people. Wake up in the den with me, Ku'ule Agbayani. Weekday mornings at 8, right here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Or listen on demand at hawaiisportsradio.com.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to OIA Athletics on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Brought to you by Hawaii Pacific Health.
Back at Farrington High School, where Kalaheo with an early 7-0 lead. Paul Brecht, Michael Lescaro bringing you all the action of tonight's OIA Division II football matchup between Kaimuki and Kalaheo, as Nainoa Barbiero with a rushing touchdown to get the Mustangs on the board. The kickoff back to Kaimuki is fielded at the 30, and that's where the Bulldogs will start. To the ground they go on the first play. It's Zachariah Karatsu Cook. Cook will pick up about 4.5 yards. Makes it 2nd down and 6 for Kaimuki. And right there, that's what you like to see for the Bulldogs after a fumble on the first drive. Just pick up a nice chunk of yardage on 1st down and make it 2nd and manageable, 3rd and manageable. That should always be the goal for Kaimuki's offense.
Yeah, and they're doing it with a new center.
They are doing it with a new center as Karatsu Cook takes the handoff and is met behind the line of scrimmage and stopped, as you mentioned before, behind a backup center as Kaizen Kapahu Medeiros stepping in and starting. The 5'8" junior typically plays on the defensive line, stepping in at center today for Kaimuki, as Taloa Loketi out with an ankle injury today. Gabriel Logan takes the snap. The lefty looks to the right side. Pass is complete. And going to be out past the 1st down marker. Late flag flies in after number 10, Marbert Jenny picks up the 1st down.
That was a solid play call and solid design and throw by Gabriel Logan on that little drag-in route. And I thought the ball was kind of going to be not hit the target, but he hit it through it to where only the receiver could catch it with his outstretched arm. So solid play there. But we'll see what this penalty is. It looks like it's going to be an illegal block in the back. So he might have actually gained yards before the penalty. But we'll see where they spot this ball. Yeah, they put it at the 36. So it'll be a 10-yard penalty from where the end of the run was. So it's still going to be 3rd down, though. So at least it's, instead of 3rd and 7, it's 3rd and 4.
Good explanation by you there, as your right block in the back is called against Kaimuki, but at the spot of the foul backs it up on to the 36-yard line of Kaimuki. 3rd down and 4 now for the Bulldogs. Logan takes the snap, looks left, fires left a little bit too high, and over the head of Zachariah Karatsu Cook. And that'll bring up 4th down for Kaimuki with 8:44 left to play here in the 1st quarter.
Yeah, great play design, to get the running back in space and just a little bit too high. That's one of those plays where, hey, I think the University of Hawaii could use that kind of play with kind of a shorter running back in Tylen Hines as well.
You'd think so, and in a lot of ways, you see the dynamic nature that Karatsu Cook has, and you wonder just how much damage he can do if you got the ball in his hands in open space. So far has not been able to do too much of that this year, as he's had 68 rushes for 369 yards coming into the night, but only has found pay dirt 1 time this season for the Bulldogs, as Kaimuki lines up to punt. Snap is fielded and kicked away. Fielded at the 30-yard line by Kalaheo. Now out past midfield goes number 5, Cody Salas, it looks.
Hey, he's been dealing with an ankle injury ever since the Kaiser game back in mid-September. But he shows no signs of an ankle injury there, with a long return to the Kaimuki 42-yard line. So about a gain of about 28 yards for Cody Salas.
Really nice job by Salas, who is the leading receiver for this Kalaheo Mustangs team. 314 yards on just 9 receptions this year, Michael. And 9 of those receptions, 5 of them touchdowns. So very productive is the running back. Back to the ground goes Kalaheo, as Nainoa Barbiero with a little shimmy step past the Kaimuki defender. And he'll pick up another 1st down. Or will he, as now the officials tell the chains to hold.
And it should be a 1st down, though.
It is right on the marker pickup of 10 yards, perhaps 9.8 yards if they're going to call it second down. And
there was a penalty on the play.
Oh, good eye by you as call goes against Kaimuki and will move Kalaheo all the way to the Bulldogs' 16-yard line. I did not see the flag. Good job by you. As the Bulldogs looking to avoid going down 2 scores early here, but Kalaheo threatening inside the 20-yard line. Jude Weber takes the snap, hands off to Barbietto. Barbietto met at the line by a group of Kaimuki defenders and will be stopped for no gain. Brings up second down and actually lost a yard, so it'll be 2nd and 11 now for Kalaheo at the 17-yard line of Kaimuki. Just under 8 minutes remaining here in the opening quarter. A 7-0 lead for Kalaheo. Paul Brecht, Michael Lascaro bringing you all the action of tonight's OIA Division II football matchup between the Mustangs and the Bulldogs. Jude Weber. Hard count. Now we'll go look back to the sideline. Clock still running. 2nd and 11 for Kalaheo. Weber gets the snap, looks left, looking end zone, tosses it up, and it'll be broken up. Pass was intended for number 9, Kamalu Jordan. Instead, it's broken up by a couple of Kaimuki defenders in the area.
Yeah, that was a heck of a play by the DB. I can't see his jersey number. He has his pink mouthpiece blocking his number, but great job against Kamalu Anoba Jordan, who was the first team All-OIA selection last year.
Believe it was Talon Domingo with the pass breakup right there for Kaimuki, and Domingo at 5'2" gives up a little bit of size there to the much bigger Kamalu Jordan, as flag going to be on the play, and to the air they go, and it's going to be intercepted. Now ball loose again and going to bounce out of bounds after Kaimuki, a big fella, coming up with the interception. And that's number 77, the center and also defensive lineman Kaizen Kapahu Medeiros stepping on in for Kaimuki, making the play, and still have a flag in the backfield to figure out, in the defensive backfield, I should say, to figure out. So we'll see if this turnover stands for Kaimuki, but for now, the second turnover forced, takeaway forced by the Bulldogs defense.
Yeah, a number 77 came up with the pick, and we were like, who is that? But that is, again, like the aforementioned Kaizen Kapahu Medeiros, who has to wear a 77 jersey number because he is the starting at center. So just kind of cool just to see that guy. Both players on both teams, players that are going both ways are making plays for both squads, and you love to see it here in Division II.
And it appears that the turnover will stand, so the interception for Kapahu Medeiros brings it back to the Kaimuki 43-yard line, so the Bulldogs will have their best starting field position of this first quarter with 7:01 to play, down 7-0. And so far, Michael, a pair of big-time defensive plays by the Bulldogs to keep them in this one, because Kalaheo has done quite a bit right so far and only 7 points to show for it.
Yeah, they got 2 turnovers already.
Gabriel Logan back out on the field for Kaimuki. Takes the snap, handoff, goes to number 2, Domingo. He'll be wrapped up after gaining a yard. Brings up 2nd down and 9 for Kaimuki after Talon Domingo takes the snap.
I think if you're Kaimuki, again, they want to kind of run the ball, but you're not getting much. I think here, when you're near midfield, you have a golden opportunity to really put some pressure on Kalaheo. I want to kind of see them open up the playbook a little bit and throw it downfield.
We've seen Gabriel Logan do it before. Last time we were here when they faced off against Castle, all 3 touchdowns, deep balls, as they'll go to the air here. Logan looking across the middle, finds Domingo, complete for a first down. Nice job by Logan to find the 5'2" Domingo cutting across the middle. And a new set of downs on the way for the Bulldogs into Kalaheo territory at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, Domingo made plays on defense with that pass breakup intended for Anabu Jordan. And here now he's making plays in the receiving game. So that guy's not that tall. So he's definitely, Gabriel Logan's putting it on the money.
Hit that right in the chest of Domingo and immediately went down. A good job by the wide receiver to do his job as back to the ground goes Kaimuki. Karatsu Cook takes the handoff up the middle 2 yards. 2nd down and 8 now for Kaimuki. And it's exactly what you said, though, Michael, where just taking a little bit of a look downfield, and we're not even talking Hail Marys or this post route, where just a nice slant over the middle and a 1st down for Kaimuki, and that keeps the chains moving. Yeah, Logan's also doing a really good job on pre-snap. I think he's trying to do a few hard counts, and if you can get one hard count and get Kalaheo to jump, that makes their offensive job much easier. So we'll see if that plays a factor late in the game. Logan takes the snap, looks left, firing left down the sideline, puts it up and broken up at the last second. Nice defensive play there by Joshua Taylor of Kalaheo to get a hand on that one. Would have been a big gain for Kaimuki. Instead, 3rd and 8 now upcoming for the Bulldogs with just over 5 minutes left to play here in the first. Yeah, I think that play was intended for the 6'2" junior Hilton Edward out on the far sideline. So heck of a job by Taylor to break up that pass. So 3rd and long now for Kaimuki. Big opportunity for the Kalaheo defense to get off the field. Logan will go to the air, looking to his right, passes and incomplete. It looks like Talon Domingo might have gotten under it, but instead the officials say, no, sir, incomplete ball touched the turf. 4th down and 8 on the way for the Bulldogs as Talon Domingo unable to haul that one in for the first. I don't know about that one. That one looked pretty good to me, but there is no review in high school football, so there's no challenge flag out there. But Domingo had to come back for that. I thought he got his hands under it, but the officials say that it bounced the turf and into his chest. So, but it looks like Kaimuki is going to stay aggressive here. You are kind of in no man's land where punting it might just go into the end zone for a touchback. So they're going to go for it on 4th and 8 at the Kalaheo 41. I don't mind this call at all by Kaimuki. Down 7-0, 4:55 remaining here in the first quarter. Logan takes the snap, looks right, now down the middle, passes, finds Domingo, complete. Left no doubt about that one as Talon Domingo hauls it in out near the 20-yard line of Kalaheo. And into the red zone goes Kaimuki. Talon Domingo having himself a game all in the first quarter right here. Heck of a job by the small fellow. If you look on the roster, he is listed as 5'2", 125 pounds, but he is playing as the biggest player on offense right now for the Bulldogs. And again, what is this saying, Paul? It's not about the size of the fight, or it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. And Talon Domingo showing it right there. I like the call out by you there as Domingo playing tough, not afraid to take a hit either, as now a couple of catches for 1st downs. Logan takes the snap, handoff to Karatsu Cook, and he'll be wrapped up in the backfield for a 2-yard loss. 2nd down and 12 now for Kaimuki. But so far, you have to be impressed by the 5'2" Talon Domingo, who just entered the day with 6 receptions for 99 yards and a touchdown on the year, and so far through this first quarter has been the main go-to target for Gabriel Logan. Yeah, he's been the main go-to target, but I want to give some credit to Sean Ukuyardi for Kalaheo on that tackle for a loss. He's also the starting tackle on offense, so heck of a job by Sean, because he also, I think one game he had 5 sacks, so he can get into the backfield. So, 2nd down and 12 for Kaimuki. Logan looks to the left side, has Domingo, just overthrew him as Talon Domingo's diving try just a little bit short of the Gabriel Logan pass. Brings up 3rd and 13 now for Kaimuki, but Bulldogs going for it all right there and almost had the score to match. And Domingo was in double cover too, but he was able to get behind both defenders. So Domingo really showing up tonight.
And what's cool about this is not the names we were expected to be hearing about for both squads, with Tan Domingo showing up as the playmaker on offense for Kaimuki, as well as Nainoa Barbiero on the Mustang side of things. So I like what we're seeing here from both OIA squads late in the season in late October.
Yeah, this is a great battle here in the first quarter. Just over 3 minutes remaining in this opening frame. A 7-0 lead for Kalaheo over Kaimuki. Paul Brecht, Michael Lascaro bringing the action here tonight from Farrington High School as high snap goes all the way back to the 41-yard line of Kalaheo. Gabriel Logan, all he can do is chase it down and fall on top. And from inside the red zone to back at the 40 as a late flag came on in. We'll see what this is, but as of now, going to be 4th down and about 30 yards for Kaimuki and likely the punting unit coming on out.
And again, this is not the first. This is the second bad snap by Kaimuki, but it's because they're without starting center Toloa Loketi, and they have to put a defensive lineman out there in Kaizen Kapahu Medero. So that's gonna be a storyline, because a lot of times when Kaimuki's getting momentum, a bad snap turns it over. Looks like they're gonna pick up the flag, or there's maybe I think it was illegal man downfield, but they're gonna decline the penalty.
Smart to decline the penalty,
or maybe they're gonna march it back even more. Ooh.
And they are, as it goes back 15 yards. Oh, wow. As it's now a 4th and 45 for Kaimuki. Back into Bulldogs territory at their own 45-yard line following the penalty after the bad snap over the head of Gabriel Logan. And now we'll get a discussion between the officials.
Oh, but it's still 3rd down, so I guess they're going to take the penalty, but they're going to take the penalty yards, but not the down. Interesting. Oh, I think they're going to revert it.
So it appears that Kalaheo was ready to accept the penalty, thinking that it would be from the spot that Logan had fallen on top of it.
They're declining the penalty.
And now, after a while, we finally get the explanation. Penalty is declined by Kalaheo. It'll bring up 4th down and 30, as I mentioned before. And the offense will stay out for Kaimuki.
They're just making the officials get some cardio in. But it's 4th and 30. They're at the Kalaheo 40-yard line. They need to get to the Kalaheo 10 to get a new set of downs. They've converted 4th down on this drive once. Let's see if they can do it again.
This one would be a little bit more impressive. 4th down and 30 now for Kaimuki. Logan takes the snap, drops back, looking over the middle, passing, and picked off. Intercepted by Kalaheo. It's number 13, Jeremiah Toilolo. And Toilolo takes it back to the 45-yard line. A turnover forced once again by Kalaheo, their 3rd of the night. Or pardon me, their 2nd of the night. As the Mustangs take over with 2:43 remaining here in the opening quarter.
Yeah, Jeremiah Toilolo is just a ball hog. Remember, he was the guy that recovered the opening kickoff for Kalaheo on that first kickoff of the game that gave them possession inside of Kaimuki territory. So wherever you see that bushy hair going, you got to watch out.
And now the Mustangs will take over at their own 45-yard line following the interception by Toilolo. 7-0 lead for Kalaheo. Weber takes the snap, fires it, and over the head of Nainoa Barbiero. And lucky that one wasn't picked off right back by the Kaimuki defense. Brings up 2nd down and 10 now for Kalaheo.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was throwing it to Barbiero or to Kamalu Anoba Jordan. He kind of split the difference there, and it didn't hit any of them.
Either way, 2nd down and 10 now for Kalaheo. And want to take this opportunity to remind you that OIA Sports on HSRN is brought to you in part by Dial Electric Supply, Hawaii's premier lighting distributor and supplier, lighting up Hawaii since 1972. 2:37 remaining here in the first quarter of play. Kalaheo leads Kaimuki 7-0. Weber takes the snap. Handoff to Barbiero, and the ball's on the ground. Ball is on the ground and a pile up. looks like Kaimuki was the first ones to it. They were, as another turnover forced by the Bulldogs, their third of the evening. And once again, it'll be Bulldogs football at the 42-yard line of Kalaheo.
Yeah, a little bit too much trickeration there, misdirection there by Kalaheo, and they mishandled the handoff. There was a receiver going across the fly motion. They're trying to get the counter, and just too much going on there. And it was Nevis Asuengu Fuala'au that was able to get the recovery. So right back, Kaimuki. I feel like that's kind of been the story of the game. One team turns it over, and the other team turns it over right back.
It's been an interesting opening quarter, to say the least, here from Farrington High School, as Kaimuki has it at the 42-yard line of Kalaheo with a fresh set of downs following the fumble. Man in motion is Domingo. Logan takes the snap, drops back, sets up a little screen. Zachariah Karatsu Cook takes it, works his way through a couple of defenders, and just got tripped up before he could get away. A pickup of 8 yards, and a nice job by Zachariah Karatsu Cook there to make it 2nd down and 2, and almost had much more.
Yeah, and that was Kamalu Jordan that was getting the stop. He looks like he's a little banged up. He's kind of crunched over, but heck of a job by Jordan to get that stop from making that a big gain by Karatsu Cook.
It'll be 2nd down and 1 after the gain of 9 by Karatsu Cook. Did a nice job setting up that screen there. Handoff goes to Cook, and he'll pick up the 1st down. Or will he?
No, he's short. Again, that's Sean Ukiarati with the stop for no gain. You know what? Sean is doing a really solid job. He's probably gonna make an OIA selection.
Certainly a nice play right there, as Kaimuki's line pulled a blocker and still unable to pick up the less than a yard, we'll call it, for a 1st down. Makes it 3rd down and 1 once again for Kaimuki. Just over a minute remaining here in the first quarter, a 7-0 lead for Kalaheo. Handoff goes to number 5, that's Iosua Letuli, and Letuli will muscle his way forward for a 1st down. And now the chains will move, as we're under a minute remaining here in the first half. 7-0 is your score. Kalaheo in front of Kaimuki.
Yeah, Letuli, the younger brother of Iosefa Letuli, one of the starting linebackers as well as the starting punter on this team. You know, he used all 6 feet, 219 pounds exactly to pick up that 1st down. Needed 1 yard, he got 2, and it's 1st and 10 Kaimuki at the Kalaheo 31.
At the 31, Logan will take the snap, drops back, looking left, firing downfield, putting it up, and jump ball fought for. Who's gonna have it? Looks like it is Kalaheo coming up with another interception. It is number 12, Joshua Taylor, coming up with the pick at the 1-yard line. Fought for it in the air and came down with it. Another turnover forced, and we're up to 6 turnovers in this first quarter alone, Michael, as Kalaheo holds a 7-0 lead with just 15 ticks left on the clock.
Yeah, but they're backed up into their own end zone now because that was at the 1-yard line. So call it an R punt if you want, because if that ball was a little bit more, it's in the end zone and they're getting the ball at the 20. And if you're Kaimuki, you kind of take that because it's a shot in the end zone. As Kalaheo does call out timeout because they need to talk this over, because you don't want to give up a safety here. We saw last time we had Kaimuki,
that was the difference.
The difference was the safety. So great job by Coach Jamison to take a timeout there.
Yeah, timeout on the field. We'll take one as well, as Kalaheo leads Kaimuki 7-0, and the Mustangs backed up way inside their own territory. You're listening to OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Here's Dr. Jamie Fukui with a health tip from Hawaii Pacific Health. When it comes to breast cancer, early detection could save your life. That's why it's recommended all women get a mammogram every year, starting at age 40, or younger if there's a history of breast cancer in your family. Schedule your mammogram today at one of our medical centers or clinics. Women who get a mammogram in October will receive a special gift while supplies last.
Online scheduling is easy at hawaiipacifichealth.org/mammogram.
Man, I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, you know? I wanted to get back in the game, so I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students, and I get paid to make the big calls. Do you want to see the game up close? Sign up to become an official in Hawaii at highschoolofficials.com.
Almost intercepted as soon as we're back, as Jude Weber went to the air and tried it over on the right side, looking for Cody Salas, and it looked like a Kaimuki defender got his hand in there, and the ball bounced up into the air. Instead, incomplete. 2nd down and 10 from the Kalaheo 1-yard line for the Mustangs, following the interception by number 12, Joshua Taylor.
What almost was a touchdown for Kalaheo.
And handoff is going to be eaten up in the backfield, and that'll be a safety. Oh, no. The referee is signaling for a touchdown. We'll see what the call ends up being, but the original signal from the official was a touchdown after the tackle was made in the end zone. And that is going to be the call, a touchdown after seemingly a fumble from Kalaheo, and Kaimuki with a defensive score, and pending a PAT, an opportunity to tie this one up with 5 seconds left here in the first quarter. Just an unbelievable turn of events from one snap to another, Michael.
Yeah, I believe that was Kanoa Nahinu with the fumble recovery, or the forced fumble, but you know, we thought you don't want to get a safety, but a touchdown, and we're not even at the first quarter break yet, Paul. Whoa, man, we need to take another break right here, Paul.
You're right. After the defensive score by Kaimuki, a 7-7 ball game with 5 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. 7 points for each team, 7 total turnovers between the two of them. We'll step aside real quick. You're listening to OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the HHSAA and the Hawaii Interscholastic Athletic Directors Association.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then, someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
OIA Athletics on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
What a first quarter it's been. 7 points for Kaimuki, 7 points for Kalaheo, and 7 total turnovers between the two teams, as we've got a good one here. OIA Division II matchup between the Kaimuki Bulldogs and the Kalaheo Mustangs. Paul Brecht, Michael Lascaro bringing you all the action here tonight, as Kaimuki getting ready to kick it on off following a defensive score, a fumble recovered in the end zone by the Bulldogs, and a short kick here is mishandled at first and will be fallen on by Vance Ramolete. And Kalaheo will have it at their own 36-yard line to start. after giving up the game-tying touchdown on their last drive, seeing themselves backed up at the own 1.
Yeah, you mentioned it. 7 Kalaheo, 7 Kaimuki, 7 turnovers, 7. That sounds like slot machine numbers in Vegas. But we might be going to Vegas more often because the Hawaii's are full-time members of the Mountain West.
True. Big news that came down the pipeline quite recently as the University of Hawaii moving over to the Mountain West for the majority of their sports here, as handoff going to go to number 1, Nainoa Barbietto, and Barbietto going to be taken down after picking up a couple of yards, and that will end the first quarter of play. A wild, wacky opening frame here from Farrington High School that sees a tied ball game after 1. 7-7's your score between Kaimuki and Kalaheo. We'll be back for second quarter action on the other side of this break. You're listening to OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Dial Electric Supply is Hawaii's premier lighting distributor and supplier, serving commercial and retail customers alike. Located at 2240 Kalua Opalena Street, Dial Electric's expanded retail showroom features one of the largest selections of lighting fixtures, fans, and smart home lighting solutions. Schedule an appointment with one of their design experts to create a home lighting design that you will enjoy for many years to come. Visit dialelectricsupply.com or give them a call at 808-845-7811.
No matter where you live, work, worship, or go to school on the island of Oahu, Ko'olau FCU wants you to join today.
What about here?
Yep.
Or here?
Yes, there too.
And over here?
You got it. If you live, work, worship, or go to school on the island of Oahu, you can join Ko'olau FCU today and discover the credit union difference. Visit ko'olaufcu.org for more info. Ko'olau Federal Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Timmy T's Sandwich Shop presents OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. Listen live to all the hard-hitting action on 95.1 FM, AM 760, or hawaiisportsradio.com. Exclusively on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Great things come in threes, like the game-winning field goal, a hat trick, and Timmy T's Sandwich Shop, now with 3 locations: Kailua, the Moanalua Shopping Center, and the Kapahulu Shopping Center. Visit TimmyT's.com to skip the line and order online today.
And some more fireworks to open up the second quarter because, of course, why not, Michael? It seems that Vance Ramalete rumbles his way forward for a 69-yard score. At least that's what it looks like at the moment, as a flag on the play came in late around the 20-yard line of Kaimuki. Officials trying to figure it out right now. And the touchdown will count. It is good. And penalty is going to be called against Kaimuki and enforced on the ensuing kickoff. So just like that, 12 seconds into action here in the second quarter, and Kalaheo jumps back out in front as Vance Ramalete rumbles his way forward for a 69-yard score. And it's 13-7 pending a PAT to make it 14. Snap, hold, kick, up, and good. And just like that, out of a break, into a score, like unbelievable speed for Kalaheo. And it's a 14-7 lead for the Mustangs, and we'll keep it on here as just trying to catch our breath after what has been an insane opening 12 minutes and then even crazier 12 seconds to begin the second quarter, Michael.
Yeah, that touchdown run was actually 462 yards, but I bring up the yardage because Kalaheo just had 28 yards of offense in that first quarter, so they duplicate that, or they doubled that and get a little bit extra there on one single play. So great job that time. Vance Ramolete, I know he's kind of been on the field during some of these fumbles for Kalaheo, but he's doing his part to make sure he gets it back. I know he also had a fumble recovery on Kaimuki's first possession. So Vance Ramolete with a touchdown during the break, and hey, if Washington State can score a touchdown during the CW's break, it's okay if we miss a touchdown here and there.
It happens to the best of us, and even so, in the blink of an eye for Kalaheo, where all game they've not been able to get anything going, like you were saying before, and suddenly they're able to completely flip the game on its head, go back in front by a score just 12 seconds in to this second quarter. And it's been exactly what the game script has been. If you listened at the very beginning, Kalaheo opening kickoff, kicks it off, and then recovers it inside Kaimuki territory, then fumbles, then Kaimuki fumbles on the very first play. Kalaheo putting on an onside kick right now, and now the Mustangs once again. Kaimuki was not ready for it. The Mustangs were, and now once again Kalaheo set up inside Kaimuki territory, and just a bunch of cheeky little tricks tonight from the Mustangs, Michael, helping them hold a slim 7-point lead at this moment.
Yeah, and that was recovered by the kicker, Luke Mormon. So solid job there. And I don't know if that was actually, I don't know the rules, but we don't have our Kyle Galdera up here in the booth, but that was kind of interesting where the Kalaheo didn't touch the ball, but they all somehow got ahead of the ball. So it's not like, and kind of set a little bit of a wall. So it wasn't like Kaimuki could get in there and touch it past the 10 yards.
It was a very strange play. You mentioned it well, where Kalaheo doing a nice job almost forming a pocket around their kicker to then go recover the kick as handoff goes to Ramolete. He's met at the line of scrimmage for no gain. In fact, might even be a loss of 1 yard. Nice play there by Kaimuki to recover after giving up the 62-yard touchdown to Vance Ramolete before.
Yeah, that was Kanoa Nahinu on the tackle for loss, and he's the guy that I think also got the fumble recovery in the end zone. So you can see it there. He's living in the backfield.
Handoff, Barbietto. Going to the left side, trying to work his way around off the edge. He does, and then Kaimuki with a late hit after Barbietto gave himself up out of bounds. And this one going to be moving forward after a pair of Bulldogs defenders hit Barbietto late.
So it looks like it's going to be a gain of 2 on the play from scrimmage, but the late hit should be a 15-yard penalty. So Kalaheo should have it 1st and 10 at the Kaimuki 20, and they're already knocking out the red zone.
And it's impressive how quickly Kalaheo has moved at times tonight. You think of the opening kickoff that they recover. You think of just now recovering a onside kick, as it will be an unnecessary roughness penalty and a late hit out of bounds. So a 15-yard penalty pushes the Kalaheo offense to the 21 of Kaimuki. Fresh set of downs as we are just about a minute into the second quarter. A touchdown already on the board for Kalaheo. Looking for some more here as Weber takes the snap. Looks right, now back left. Puts it on up and bobbled and then dropped.
That was actually Mormon on the pass attempt, number 4. So interesting. Jude Weber's here on the sideline. He looks fine. So maybe they're just giving in the kicker who got the onside recovery some reps here, because he kind of earned it.
You are correct, as it is in fact the kicker, Mormon, out there. And he stays out there getting ready to take off and run off the left side. Makes a move off the left edge, works back past the defender and into the end zone. Loke Mormon, the kicker, moonlighting as the quarterback, works his way into the end zone, and it's a 20-7 lead for Kalaheo just like that.
Nice keeper, and he does kind of give it a little change of pace, because Jude Weber is more of that pocket passer, drop back and let it rip. And with Mormon out there, he gives another element with the running attack that Kaimuki just wasn't prepared for. And he's kind of tall, he's kind of lanky, and he strut his long legs out there, and he's going out there to kick the PAT as well.
And you're right, he stays on the field, and out comes the starting quarterback, typically in Jude Weber. Snap, hold, kick, up and good, as Kalaheo with 2 touchdowns in less than 90 seconds here in the second quarter The Mustangs lead 21-7 over Kaimuki. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Here's Dr. Jamie Fukui with a health tip from Hawaii Pacific Health.
When it comes to breast cancer, early detection could save your life. That's why it's recommended all women get a mammogram every year, starting at age 40, or younger if there's a history of breast cancer in your family. Schedule your mammogram today at one of our medical centers or clinics. Women who get a mammogram in October will receive a special gift while supplies last.
Online scheduling is easy at hawaiipacifichealth.org/mammogram.
Childhood should be the happiest time of life. For many, sadly, it's riddled with pain, rejection, and isolation. But Mercy Ships is restoring hope to some of the world's most forgotten children through free, life-changing surgeries. No one can change the world on their own, but together we can transform it, one person, one child at a time. To learn more about how you can help, go to mercyships.org today.
OIA Athletics on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Brought to you by Dial Electric Supply.
OIA Sports on HSRN is brought to you in part by Hawaii Pacific Health. Hawaii Pacific Health takes the team approach to providing the expert care you need when and where you need it. Together, we are creating a healthier Hawaii. 21-7's your score. Kalaheo leading Kaimuki here from Farrington High School. Paul Brecht, Michael Lascaro bringing you all the action from tonight's OIA Division II matchup as the Mustangs working quickly here in this second quarter. 2 touchdowns in just 73 seconds of game time. And suddenly a 2-score lead for the Mustangs. Kaimuki looking for an answer.
They might get it here. You know, we got some fireworks, but they got Ezekiel Kui-Matias now in the game.
They go to the ground first as Zachariah Karatsu Cook bounces outside and works his way past the 35-yard line all the way to the Kaimuki 38. A big gain there for the running back from the Bulldogs, and it's a first down for Kaimuki.
I tell you, we're going to see some fireworks here on this play. It's the biggest run of the game for Karatsu Cook, but the receiver I mentioned, Ezekiel Kui-Matias, we got to see him last time we covered Kaimuki on these airwaves. He had 3 receiving touchdowns. He did not play in the first quarter because of disciplinary reasons, but he's out there now, and that's the one weapon you want on the field for Kaimuki if you want to come back down 21-7.
And that's something, if you think about as a Bulldogs fan, you have to feel pretty good about. You were there 7-7 in the first quarter as Domingo going to get this little bubble screen and take it out for a 3-yard gain. Talon Domingo, who kind of took over as the go-to target in that first quarter for Gabriel Logan, while you said Ezekiel Kui-Matias was out. Now back out there on the field for the Bulldogs is Kui-Matias, the 5'10", 175-pound senior. As you mentioned, had 3 touchdowns against Castle, trying to help the Bulldogs grab their first win there. Up a little bit short, now trying to help Kaimuki get back into this one, down 21-7 with less than 10 minutes left here in the first half. Karatsu Cook takes the handoff off the left side and picks up about 5. Will make it 3rd down and 2 for Kaimuki at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, and with Kui-Matias, Karatsu Cook has a lighter box that he can run against, and that's why he's able to get these big yards. You know, we have it's Kamalu Anoba Jordan up top playing press coverage on Kui-Matias, but Kalaheo definitely has a safety back there in case he gets beat deep. So that's what's allowing Kaimuki to run the ball. And you know what, Paul? I don't encourage those that do this, but if you're watching this game, you should have taken the over.
It certainly feels like one of those nights, especially considering, like we mentioned, 7 turnovers in the first quarter. And a little bit more calmness in the opening 90 seconds of this second quarter as Gabriel Logan's pass out to the right side will be incomplete. Bounced off the chest of Talon Domingo. And it'll make it 4th down and 2 now for Kaimuki at their own 45-yard line.
Yeah, I think he may have lost it in the lights, but great play design there. The reason why Domingo was open because he was running a little short out route that was cleared out because of Kui-Matias. So decision time here for Kaimuki. I think you have to go for it. even though it's on your own 45, you have a lot of ways to get this first down.
And we'll see if that's what they do. It appears the offense remains on the field. Heavy set in the back, and man goes in motion here. Flag flies. And I believe it's going to go against Kaimuki. It will. A false start against the Bulldogs. Backs him on up 5 yards. Makes a manageable 4th and 2 into 4th and 7. And you have to wonder if that will bring out the punting unit. It appears that it will.
Yeah, special teams coordinator Moses Ringwood sends out the punting unit because they were in a heavy set package. They had a full house, kind of a diamond set look in the backfield with two with a back to each side, full next to Logan and a back behind him. They did send one of the backs on the left side in motion, so they were showing that the right side was going to be the strong side of the field. But a false start brings out the punting unit, so Letuli got to go back there.
And once again, as with a lot of teams that we see, Michael, those self-inflicted errors as the punt by Letuli going to be shanked out of bounds. And we'll see where the officials mark it, but looked like only about a 10-yard punt. And it appears that it will be Kalaheo football at the 45-yard line of Kaimuki. So the spot of the line of scrimmage before the false start penalty, and after the short punt goes out of bounds, it'll be Kalaheo football from the 45. We'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to OIA football presented by Timmy T's Sandwich Shop.
The OIA lives here. KGU AM, K236CR. Honolulu is the Hawaii Sports Radio Network on 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Back to live action. Mormon takes the snap and takes off immediately. The kicker to start this one, staying in at quarterback, and takes off for a 10-yard scramble right there. Moves the chains on forward for Kalaheo. And an interesting decision for the Mustangs coaching staff to go away from your starting quarterback. At this season, 15 touchdown passes to just 4 interceptions for Weber entering this game. But so far to begin, and this is via Scoring Live, Jude Weber 0 of 4 with an interception and just not doing too much for that offense. So now the Mustangs going elsewhere, and it gives me an opportunity to remind you that Hawaii Sports Radio Network is partnered with Scoring Live to bring you the best overall coverage of high school sports in the state. Visit scoringlive.com for live scores and stats, photos, league schedules, and more.
Well, Weber's back in the game now. He's trying to draw him offsides. But, Paul, you can give me a shout-out. Paul, you can say I'm the one providing the stats. You know, in honor of these Division II teams with players going both ways, I'm playing multiple hats, too, tonight.
You certainly are, and you do a lot of nights for us here as Weber almost intercepted again through the hands of Lukella Hicks, and luckily for Kalaheo, Jude Weber not intercepted for the second time tonight. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10 now for the Mustangs, as he was trying for it all down the sideline to Cody Salas and just left it a bit short.
No, that was actually a great job by Lukella Hicks to get up there and get that ball. He also had an interception against Castle, I believe.
Handoff up the middle goes to Ramalete, who is met by a couple of Bulldogs defenders after a 1-yard gain. Makes it 3rd down and 9 now for Kalaheo. Just ticked under 8 minutes left here in the first half. A 14-point lead for the Mustangs over Kaimuki.
Yeah, Ramalete wasn't getting much there. He was first met by Iosu Letuli and then finished off by Kanoa Nahinu, both returning linebackers, starting linebackers from the Kaimuki squad that made the state tournament and the OIA Division II playoffs, or OIA Division II championship game a year ago, which reminds us, when we do have the OIA championship games, you can tune into Hawaii Sports Radio Network for those.
The partner of OIA Athletics, as Weber trying to escape the pass rush and just tosses it away. A nice job to live for another day right there. Makes it 4th down and 9 at the 34-yard line of Kaimuki. And curious what to do here for Kalaheo, as they're kind of in that no man's land between punting and going for it, and it looks like they might send out the punting unit.
Yeah, last time I saw Jude Weber, he threw for 7 touchdowns against Kalani. Looks like tonight is not his night with an interception and even getting another one nearly intercepted. Right now he's 0 for 6 to start the game without a completion.
It has been a rough night thus far for the starter for Kalaheo at quarterback, but otherwise a nice first half for the Mustangs as this punt is up and drilled away into the end zone for a touchback. And that will bring the ball on out for Kaimuki, trailing by 2 scores with 7:08 remaining here in the second quarter. Michael, as you've seen this Kaimuki offense work tonight, what are some of the things that you've liked, and is there anything that you think they maybe should axe out from what has been the opening script for the Bulldogs?
They've been pretty solid so far. I think the only thing that you could axe out is the bad snaps, but that's something you can't really axe out with your starting center in Toloa Waketi out of the game with an ankle injury he sustained against Kaiser last week. So I kind of like what they're doing, but now they kind of got this more heavier set with this full house diamond package. That should open up some passing lanes for Kui Matias.
3 men in the backfield alongside Gabriel Logan. Handoff goes up the middle to Karatsu Cook, and he's tripped up after picking up 4 yards, makes it 2nd down and 6. Karatsu Cook has had himself a couple of runs tonight where if he's not tripped up at the last moment, you're curious just how far he could sprint downfield. Instead, just a 4 or 5 yard gain right there, and gonna get a flag before the snap here as a couple of Kalaheo defenders got a little too angsty, jumped early, and the 5 yard penalty sets up.
Should be a 1st down.
It's very close to it, and now the chains will move. Late movement by the chain gang. But a fresh set of downs for Kaimuki, down by 14. Now under 7 minutes left here in the second quarter. Handoff up the middle. Tackled after maybe a gain of 1 for Kaimuki. And that one, once again, Karatsu Cook taking the handoff and only picking up 1 yard. 2nd down and 9 now with 6:15 remaining here in the opening half of play. Paul Brecht, Michael Lascaro bringing in the action of tonight's OIA Division II matchup between Kalaheo and Kaimuki. Kalaheo with a couple of touchdowns in the first 73 seconds of this second quarter to take a 21-7 lead over Kaimuki after a back and forth and strange first quarter between the teams. Logan takes the snap, handoff up the middle. Karatsu Cook works his way forward for a gain of about 4. Gets it to the 35-yard line of Kaimuki. Makes it 3rd down and 5 for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Kaimuki really kind of wanting to shorten the game by keeping it grounded, but I'm pretty sure they're going to take a shot here for Ezekiel Kui Matias down the far sideline, on the Kaimuki sideline of the field. So look for this to go to the air.
It just feels that they've been setting it up that way. A lot of running, a lot of slow play action. We'll see what they have drawn up here. 3rd down and 5. 5 minutes remaining. Play action. Go to the air. Down the right sideline to Kui Matias. And he can't bring it in. Ball broken up by a couple of Kalaheo defenders in the area. A nice job by the Mustangs to not let that one come down for a gain. And Michael, a nice job by you calling out exactly where Kaimuki wanted to go, down the right sideline to Ezekiel Kui Matias, and he just couldn't quite bring it in despite getting hands on it.
Yeah, credit Kamalu Jordan for playing press coverage against Matias there, and Jordan's one of their better offensive players, but they're going to use that athleticism to guard there. But also shout out to Gage White, the safety that give help over the top.
And Letuli gets this one away a little bit better than before. Rolls into Kalaheo territory and will be downed at the 35-yard line of the Mustangs. That's where they'll take over, leading 21-7 with under 5 minutes remaining here in the first half of play. And as we continue on through here, Michael, it's been interesting to watch these two teams work in a way where Kalaheo, in moments you see them go so fast. They hit you heavily when they're coming through their run game, but then you see the moments where you go and break off a 62-yard run. You see the onside kick, and you see the moments that make this Kalaheo team so explosive at times, and they're right now just fighting to try and find their way into the OIA Division II playoffs.
Yeah, and I think they're with Mormon out there, that gives them another element that I think they didn't want to put on film too much. That's why they put Weber back there, but this looks like there's going to be a night of Mormon here.
Mormon, little shovel pass forward, finds Barbietto. Barbietto around the right sideline and taken down after a gain of about 10, right at the line to gain, and looks as though they'll move the chains. New set of downs on the way for Kalaheo after the 10-yard catch and run for Nainoa Barbietto.
Yeah, a little push pass there on the fly sweep motion. Did they really need to have a little push pass? No, but for the head coach in Kalaheo, Jamison Lee, the former quarterback out of Castle High School in the same graduating class as Marcus Mariota, he's going to make sure that one of his quarterbacks are going to have a completion in this game.
Got the easy one there. They go back to the ground here, and a big hole on the way for Vance Ramalete, who rumbles into Kaimuki territory, taken down at the 39-yard line of the Bulldogs. A nice strong run by Vance Ramalete, the senior running back.
Yeah, and again, we mentioned it earlier with these two mishandled handoffs by Kalaheo earlier in the game. There was a lot of window dressing in here. More window dressing here with the motion, but they were able to clean that up, and Ramalete able to rumble for a big gain of about 16 yards.
Mormon back to the ground goes Ramalete along the left side and works his way forward for a 5-yard gain. Vance Ramalete starting to find a rhythm here in the second quarter for Kalaheo.
He's trying to get that Grinder of the Game award.
And he's certainly well on his way with hands in a score on offense and hands in turnovers, or takeaways, I should say, for the defense so far for Kalaheo, leading 21-7 here with 3:16 left in the second quarter. Mormon gets the call from the sideline, relays it to his team. Takes the snap, handoff. Ramalete will be met by a trio of Kaimuki defenders and taken down after getting back to the line of scrimmage. Brings up 3rd down and 5 now for Kalaheo, and a big opportunity for Kaimuki to continue to show off on this defensive side.
Yeah, that was Letuli with the first contact there. You know, Ramalete has been running over some players and getting yards after contact, but that time, Iosua Letuli using all 219 pounds of himself to meet Ramalete at the point of contact.
And Ramalete, not a small back himself, as Mormon going to go to the air here, toss it on up, going to be intercepted. Ezekiel Kui'i Matias making an impact after missing the first quarter, comes in and comes up with a pick here in the second at the 15-yard line. Nice play by the Bulldogs defender. And it'll be Kaimuki football with 2:20 remaining when we come back. You're listening to OIA football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Great things come in threes, like the game-winning field goal, a hat trick, and Timmy T's Sandwich Shop, now with 3 locations: Kailua, the Moanalua Shopping Center, and the Kapahulu Shopping Center. Visit TimmyT's.com to skip the line and order online today.
Aloha, beautiful people. Wake up in the den with me, Kule Agbayani. Weekday mornings at 8, right here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Or listen on demand at hawaiisportsradio.com.
You're listening to OIA Athletics on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Brought to you by Hawaii Pacific Health.
And right back to the air and right back to the Mustangs goes the football as Gabriel Logan's pass bounces off, Marbert Ngeni, and into the arms of number 13, Jeremiah Toilolo. His second interception of the night, and the Mustangs with the football right back at the Kaimuki 20-yard line.
Yeah, give credit to Chance Boo Makui with the pass deflection to get it into Toilolo's hands. And that's the third time now where Toilolo has come up with a loose ball, or a ball in general that takes the ball away from Kaimuki. So Toilolo also getting his name out there.
To the air, back into the game is Weber. Hit as he throws and almost intercepted. Flag comes in as a lot of contact against the Kalaheo receiver. I believe that's number 9 in Kamalu Jordan. As going to be probably pass interference going against Kaimuki here. And pardon me, it was actually Cody Salas who was the intended receiver, tripped up at the end. And after a little bit of a discussion, looks like no flag will actually, they'll pick up the flag. So instead, 2nd down and 10 for Kalaheo. Weber back to the air and fired one just a little too far out in front of Andrew Taylor. Incomplete. Late flag comes in.
We'll see what they say, but Weber was under pressure. I don't know if they're going to call for a hold, but there is some discussion here by the white hat and the field official. See what they call, because I think it should just be a no flag and you pick it up. And
curious to see what the call is.
But it looks like it's against Kalaheo if the officials are looking towards the Kaimuki sideline.
And still awaiting the call. Personal foul on the defense as
corrected.
Kaimuki, the offender here. And this should set up a new set of downs for Kalaheo. Confusion between the players and the officials now, as we have some confusion up here. Gives me an opportunity to remind you that OIA Sports on HSRN is brought to you in part by Hawaii Pacific Health. Hawaii Pacific Health takes the team approach to providing the expert care you need when and where you need it. Together, we are creating a healthier Hawaii. After the discussion, finally the ball is moved forward, and Kalaheo will have it at the 10-yard line of Kaimuki. 1st down and goal for the Mustangs, already leading 21-7 with 2:02 remaining here in the opening half.
I think we have another quarterback coming in. Oh, no, that's a receiver coming into the game.
A lot of different personnel, though, tonight for Kalaheo. The Mustangs tossing every trick out of the book here as they're continuing to fight for their playoff lives. Handoff goes to the ground, up the middle, rolling off the tackle, fighting his way, and stopped just before the goal line is Vance Ramolete, who already has a touchdown to his name tonight. And Ramolete stopped just shy of the goal line, brings up 2nd down and goal at the 2 for Kalaheo now.
Yeah, that guy was looking to run people over, and he almost got to the end zone and almost sealed up the Grinder of the Game award on that play alone.
Would have felt that way, just putting the team on his back in every phase of the game.
Nah, it looks like Ramolete is going to take the direct snap here.
He is lined up directly behind the center. 70 seconds left in the opening half. Snap is low and whistles blow early as a flag flies. Offside going to be called.
Yeah, so instead of 2nd and goal from the 2, it's going to be 2nd and goal from the 1. And if you're Kalaheo, you just run the same play that you already had called up because you're 1 yard closer to the end zone.
And it is, in fact, offsides on the defense. Like we said, marches it forward 1 yard, half the distance to the goal. 2nd down and goal now for Kalaheo from the 1 yard line. 1:10 left to play here in this 2nd quarter. A 14-point lead for Kalaheo. Direct snap goes to Ramolete, and he's going to be wrapped up before he can pick up anything. In fact, might be a loss of a yard, makes it 3rd down and goal now for Kalaheo as Kaimuki's defense trying to stand strong deep inside their own territory.
You're right. I think he did lose a yard. It's going to be on from the 2-yard line now. So Ramolete getting met there. Usually he's going to get his run after yards after contact when he has a head full of steam. But with being so close to the end zone and the goal line, you don't really have that kind of extra yardage to kind of build up some steam and some power.
And the game has come to a screeching halt here as the second quarter has gone on after going so quickly early on. And now Kalaheo is going to call a timeout with a big 3rd down and goal looming. We'll step aside as well. You're listening to OIA football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Hawaii Sports Radio Network is proud to be the official radio broadcast partner of the Oahu Interscholastic Association. Listen live to OIA Sports throughout the year on HSRN 95.1 FM and AM 760. Visit hawaiisportsradio.com and click on the OIA Sports tab for our current play-by-play schedule, photo galleries, or to listen to previous broadcasts. Mahalo to Timmy T's Sandwich Shop, Hawaii Pacific Health, and Dial Electric Supply for their support of OIA Sports, exclusively on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Heidi Klum here. This Halloween, I'll be back with a new costume. Know what else is back? The little orange box from UNICEF, Trick or Treat for UNICEF, lets you do amazing things to help the world's children this Halloween. Learn more at trickortreatforunicef.org.
Following the timeout, Kalaheo facing a big 3rd down and goal. Direct snap goes directly to Vance Ramolete, and he is met in the backfield once again. Flying through is Kanoa Nahinu, and it'll make it 4th down and goal from the 5-yard line. A great job by the Kaimuki defense.
They finally do get the timeout. I thought they were just going to let the clock roll on to 0.
And a great call by you there, as with 20 seconds left, the play in the backfield came, and then the clock just kept running. So now with 2 seconds remaining here in the opening half, Kalaheo takes their timeout and will try and draw something up here on 4th and goal, unless they try and kick from the 5-yard line here. It'd be about a 23-yard attempt if the Mustangs do want to try the field goal. It's 21-7 already in favor of Kalaheo. Could afford to not score here, as they will receive the second half kickoff. For Kaimuki, you absolutely want to not allow a touchdown here. And now, interesting enough, Michael, they will bring out the field goal unit, but you have to keep an eye on it because both the kicker and the holder are the quarterbacks tonight for Kalaheo, as Jude Weber will hold for Luke Mormon.
About a 22-yard field goal attempt.
The snap, the hold, the kick, and the field goal attempt at the buzzer is good from 22 yards out. And that'll do it here in the first half, as Kalaheo scores 17 unanswered points in the second quarter to take a 24-7 lead into halftime. You don't want to go too far. We have the Timmy T's halftime report coming on up on the other side of this break. You won't want to miss it. You're listening to OIA football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Great things come in threes, like the game-winning field goal, a hat trick, and Timmy T's Sandwich Shop, now with 3 locations: Kailua, the Moanalua Shopping Center, and the Kapahulu Shopping Center. Visit TimmyTees.com to skip the line and order online today.
Honey, did you fix the door yet?
Don't worry, the best and brightest are on it.
Well, I don't know if I would go that far.
Oh, not me, dear. I'm talking about Kama'aina Handyman. They have the highest customer service ratings with over 1,000 reviews, and they're voted best handyman service on Oahu.
Oh, Kama'aina Handyman. They fixed our neighbors' windows.
Yep, I went to kama'ainahandyman.com, and they can fix our cabinets and closet doors too.
Huh, and now I don't have to worry about you breaking anything.
Huh?
Oh, nothing.
Mahalo, Kama'aina Handyman.
Timmy T's Sandwich Shop presents OIA football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. Listen live to all the hard-hitting action on 95.1 FM, AM 760, or hawaiisportsradio.com. Exclusively on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Aloha, beautiful people. Wake up in the den with me, Kule Agbayani, along with Paul Brecht and Michael Lescaro, weekday mornings at 8, right here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Or listen on demand at hawaiisportsradio.com. You can even watch the show every Monday on our YouTube channel. Want to get in on the conversation? Shoot us a text at 808-888-KGU1. That's 808-888-5481.
In school sports, it's easy to see the wins, the moments that make headlines. But there's so much work that goes unseen for any of it to happen. My name is Phil Risen, and I'm the Executive Director of the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. Throughout the country, athletic administrators dedicate countless hours to making life-changing opportunities possible for student athletes through sports. Their sacrifice is fueled by the belief that every student can grow and deserves their time to shine. On behalf of the NIAAA, we want to thank every athletic administrator for your tireless dedication to providing 7.8 million students across the country a path to a better future.
This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
OIA Athletics on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
24-7 at halftime's your score as Kalaheo leads Kaimuki. Paul Brecht, Michael Lescaro bringing you all the action here tonight from Farrington High School between the two OIA Division II programs. Welcome on into the halftime report, brought to you by Timmy T's Sandwich Shop, now with 3 locations: Kailua, Moanalua Shopping Center, and the Kapahulu Shopping Center. Visit timmytees.com to order online today. As in that first half, Michael, we got a little bit of everything, right? You got 9 turnovers between the two teams, 7 of which came in that wild first quarter that we saw, and then we saw back-to-back touchdowns within 73 seconds to begin the second quarter, by Kalaheo. 17 points in total for the Mustangs to take this 17-point lead into the break.
Well, you mentioned Timmy T's, but what is our live read? Good things come in threes. Well, 3 times 3 is 9 turnovers, but we've been having a fun game. I think that field goal also was brought to you by Timmy T's with the 3 points there. So giving Timmy T some extra love here, because I think it's what we're like about this game is that you have 2 teams that have players going both ways. So, both teams are definitely going to grind their way to victory. And it's homecoming here at Kaimuki. They had a really exciting start to that drive in the start of the second quarter, but they're unable to convert on it. But I think as long as Kaimuki can kind of force Kalaheo in the second half to have to pass the ball, because right now Kalaheo really can't pass the ball other than a little flip pass on a jet fly motion, which is almost a gimme. They're really having that going. Starting quarterback Jude Weber, 0-for-7 with a interception and almost a near interception. So as long as Kaimuki can stop the running game, they have a chance. I know we saw the return of Ezekiel Kui Matias in that second quarter, but I like what Kaimuki was doing in the first quarter with Talon Domingo being a weapon. So they need to get him back involved in this game. But yeah, Kalaheo, they've been able to steal possessions from Kaimuki. I think on that opening kickoff, they was able to get that recovery by Jeremiah Toilolo. They ultimately traded fumbles there, but they still cashed in. As well as after it went up 14-7, Locke Mormon with the kicker with the onside kick recovery that led to his own touchdown run from 21 yards out. So Mormon he's got 6 points in the kicking game and 6 points in the running game. So he has scored 12 of Kalaheo's 20 points. That's pretty good. That's almost Michael Jordan in the 90s. Scoring for the Chicago Bulls. So it's going to be a great competition. I think you could do Vance Ramolete getting that big touchdown run out of our commercial break for 62 yards. That gives him 87 yards and a touchdown. But he's also had a fumble recovery in this game, so getting it done on both sides of the ball. And there's also Jeremiah Toilolo, who recovered that opening kickoff that Kaimuki fell to field, but he also has 2 interceptions on Kaimuki quarterback Gabriel Logan. So a lot of players on Kalaheo that is worthy of being the player of the game. For the Kaimuki side of things, they just need to settle down and get it going, stop the run, as well as just get their playmakers the ball. And they kind of went to that heavy package midway through the first half, but what they were doing before that was much more effective, kind of spreading it out. So I want to see them kind of go back to that instead of staying in that heavy package, because Kalaheo, they want to get after the quarterback. They want to get after in the running game. So kind of spread it out and read what the defense declares, if they're going to put players in the box or not.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting second half because this is not a blowout by any means. You saw how quickly that Kalaheo able to put points on the board, and you saw that Kaimuki, this defense, is able to step up to the challenge at times, but you're going to have to do it a lot more in this second half against a powerful Kalaheo offense. We'll tell you all the things that you need to look for in this second half on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Halftime Report, brought to you by Timmy T's Sandwich Shop, now with 3 locations, Kailua, the Moanalua Shopping Center, and the Kapahulu Shopping Center. Visit TimmyT's.com to order online today. Don't go too far. We'll be right back with some more stats and analysis between Kalaheo and Kaimuki. You're listening to OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
We are
back here at Edward Skippa Diaz Stadium at Farrington High School for homecoming night for Kaimuki as they take on Kalaheo. A whole bunch of names being thrown at you, but all you need to know. Kaimuki taking on Kalaheo. The Mustangs leading the Bulldogs 24-7 at halftime. Paul Brecht, Michael Lascaro bringing the action here tonight, as Kaimuki looking still for their first victory of the year. Kalaheo working to try and fight their way into the OIA Division II playoffs, Michael. And it's been that way all night, right? You look at both sides and you see Kaimuki fighting hard, but at times getting in their own way, and Kalaheo just striking so quickly, but then you see why they're still fighting for their playoff lives at times.
Yeah, you mentioned Kaimuki getting in their own way. You know, they did get their only score of the game off of that fumble recovery in the end zone. We thought it was going to be a safety, but it was a fumble recovered by Kaimuki in the end zone for their first touchdown of the game. And Kalaheo, you mentioned it, there was 7 total turnovers in that first quarter and only 9 now, so they definitely limited their mistakes and stopped turning the ball over. That running game, that running attack with Mormon at quarterback, giving them a little bit of a different element, and Kaimuki's not ready for that. So if I'm Kalaheo, I'm going to keep it kind of grounded, not really go to the passing game. Let's kind of get this game out of the way and shorten the game, and keep Kaimuki from getting back on the field, because you know what they can do, especially with Ezekiel Kuyi-Matias back in the game.
That's a great point by you, in that the Kaimuki, while they haven't been able to strike quickly thus far, we've seen them before able to go down the field in moments, especially to Ezekiel Kuyi-Matias, who almost had a spectacular grab in double coverage before, in that first half, just got broken up at the last moment. He missed the first quarter after a coach's decision, and then returned in that second quarter, came up with an interception early on in his return back, and then now trying to make his presence felt on offense. And for Kaimuki, I brought it up before, where if you can just limit the turnovers, that is a big thing for them, where their defense has played their hearts out from start to finish tonight, forcing a whole bevy of turnovers against this Kalaheo unit, and still it hasn't mattered, as Kalaheo leads 24-7 at halftime. Going to go through the stats real quick for you, presented by Scoring Live, and as our Michael Lascaro said in the first half, actually presented by him, as he is sitting next to me doing double duty as my color commentator while still making sure the stats are up and good. And those stats are as follows for Kaimuki: just 7 points in that first half, as Gabriel Logan completed only 5 of his 14 pass attempts for 58 yards, 3 interceptions for the quarterback for Kaimuki. Zechariah Karatsu Cook, 10 carries for 35 yards, a long of 17. Seen some good moments out of him, including a little catch and run for a 9-yard gain as well. So he's up over 40 yards of total offense. And then it's Hilton Edward who leads the way for Kaimuki for receiving, 1 reception for 21 yards. Talon Domingo with 2 catches for 15. Over on the other side for Kalaheo, you mentioned it before, Locke Mormon coming in, the kicker usually for Kalaheo, and now moonlighting a little bit as the quarterback, and a little more than moonlighting at this point, I suppose, as he's 1 of 3, the only completion of the first half for Kalaheo for 10 yards and an interception. Usual starter Jude Weber, 0 of 7 with a pick, his 5th pick of the season. And on the ground, that's where the bread and butter of the Mustangs attack has been. You brought it up before with Vance Ramalete, who has made his impact known on defense, but also offensively. 9 carries for 87 yards and a score. 3 different players with touchdown runs for Kalaheo in that first half, as the Mustangs lead 24-7 over Kaimuki. You're listening to the Halftime Report, brought to you by Timmy T's Sandwich Shop. Timmy T's Sandwich Shop now with 3 locations: Kailua, the Moanalua Shopping Center, and the Kapahulu Shopping Center. Visit TimmyT's.com to order online today. Going to step aside for our final break. On the other side, second half action of this OIA Division II matchup between Kaimuki and Kalaheo. You won't want to miss it. You're listening to OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
You guys just didn't want it bad enough. That should have been an easy win. What were you doing out there? You gotta hustle. You could have made that play if you'd been open.
On the car ride home after the game, when you think you're helping by telling me what I did wrong and what I need to work on. All I hear is that I'm not good enough, that I'm supposed to be perfect, that it's not okay to lose. On the car ride home, all I need to hear is how much you love me and enjoy watching me play. That my worth isn't determined by my performance. That even on my worst day, I am worthy. That you see me learning, growing, and doing my best. And that is enough.
This message presented by the HHSAA and the Hawaii Interscholastic Athletic Directors Association.
Hawaii Sports Radio Network recognizes the Colt Brennan Legacy Fund of the Hawaii Community Foundation, established by the Brennan family to honor the memory of their son and brother, former University of Hawaii quarterback Colt Brennan. The fund supports causes that Colt cared about, UH athletics and youth sports, in addition to organizations that support individuals struggling with mental health and addiction issues. Visit hawaiicommunityfoundation.org/Colt-fund today to learn more about how you can help.
Hawaii Pacific University presents Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, live from the eSports Arena powered by DSE Hawaii at HPU's ATM campus. Every week, take a deep dive into the men's and women's athletic programs at HPU, who are this week's standout performers, which program is making a splash in the classroom, community, and the game. Tune in to Sharks Weekly, Thursday mornings at 9 on HSRN 95.1 FM and AM 760, or listen on demand at hawaiisportsradio.com.
Was a spark plug in that first quarter for the Bulldogs. So I want to kind of see him go back to what was working for them in the first quarter instead of that heavy package look. For Kalaheo, just keep it grounded. You really don't, with a 2-touchdown lead, you really don't have to take that many chances. Just play it smart.
2 easy keys for both of our teams here tonight as Kaimuki getting ready to kick it off to Kalaheo from right to left. In case you missed us at the start of the night, Kaimuki in their green jerseys with black pants and green and yellow trim down the sides. For Kalaheo, full white uniforms with orange lettering and numbers. 24-7 is your score as we're just about ready to play here in the third quarter from Edward Skipper Diaz Stadium at Farrington High School. Kaimuki stepping on back to kick it away, trailing by 17. One last adjustment of the ball here on this windy night in Kalihi. And the Bulldogs ready to send it away. Trailing by 17 here to open the third quarter. Kick is away, squibbed down the middle, fielded by Kalaheo, and taken down at the 42-yard line of the Mustangs is number 12, Joshua Taylor, who will give good field position to start here in the third quarter for Kalaheo.
Yeah, I'm surprised Kaimuki didn't try go for some kind of onside kick. You know, Kalaheo did kind of steal 2 possessions away from you. But I think they're just going to play it out here on defense and see what they can do because they may have, I know their special teams coordinator, Moses Ringwood, has something on there, but I don't think they want to show their cards way too early. Let your play your defense and just play football.
And it is going to be Jude Weber to start things out as the signal caller in this second half for Kalaheo. First completion of the day goes over to the left side, and it's going to be a big one. Racing away from the defense and finally tripped up is number 9, Kamalu Jordan. And Jordan races his way into Kaimuki territory, taken down at the 33-yard line of the Bulldogs, and it'll be first down Kalaheo just like that, not even 20 seconds into the second half.
Yeah, well, we mentioned it earlier in the halftime show that Weber 0 for 7 to start the game. Here he's able to get into the box score on a positive note, getting into the playmaker in Kamalu Jordan.
And you said it in the first half, the Kalaheo coaching staff knows how to get easy completions and a little bit of confidence in there for the quarterbacks as back to the ground goes Kalaheo. Vance Ramalete rumbles his way forward for about 5 yards, makes it second down and 5 now for the Mustangs.
Yeah, Ramalete is just somebody that can just fall forward, so usually he's going to get some yards after contact. So if you're going to go and attack him, you just might as well just wrap up his legs, kind of like Ashton Jensen, and just wait for help to come your way.
Play action, back to the air. Little bubble screen once again to Jordan. Jordan to the left sideline and pushed out of bounds at the 10-yard line. And it looks like it'll set up first and goal for Kalaheo.
Yeah, so right now it's the Coach Jay Mason Lee's making it easy for his quarterback. They're kind of in this double stack formation where you have receivers out to the wide with running with another receiver behind the wide out, kind of like the veer and shoot plays. Now they're going to come in a triple stack on the right side, and it's just a box count for Weber to read. If you're going to hand it off, or are you going to throw it out to your receiver on a screen?
And they'll hand it off. There goes Ramalete, who picks up about a yard, we'll say. Second down and goal from the 9 now for Kalaheo. And it seems that the Mustangs have done exactly what you said they should do to open up this second half, keeping it simple, not just running the ball, but also just easy completions as they go to the ground here, spinning his way forward and eventually taken down at the 1-yard line was Vance Ramalete. And Ramalete has the Mustangs of Kalaheo on the doorstep once again, leading 24-7 as we tick under 10 minutes to play here in the third.
Yeah, now last time when they were at the goal line, Ramalete was getting stuck in the backfield by Kaimuki, so we'll see what they do here. It was when he was in that little direct snap package, but looks like they have Jordan now at running back to the right of Weber. Oh, no, it's Barbietto.
Barbietto takes the handoff and going to be tackled just before the goal line. Call it fourth down and goal from the half-yard line for Kalaheo here, and this seems as though a no-brainer to go for it, Michael. Either you get it in or you really have Kaimuki's offense backed up into their own territory on the doorstep of their own end zone.
Yeah, or you can just take the points with Mormon. You know, he's been pretty solid at his point tally where he would get 15 points. So, but they'll say they're going to go for it. But I don't know. There's some confusion, a lot of movement, and I wouldn't be surprised if they call timeout. But it will be Ramolete in that direct snap package for Kalaheo.
Like you said, Ramolete takes the direct snap up the middle. Pardon me. He was touched, but not until he got into the end zone as Vance Ramolete into pay dirt for the second time tonight. And Kalaheo's lead up to 30-7 pending a PAT as the Mustangs just continuing to strike quickly when Kaimuki least expects.
Yeah, Ramolete with his second touchdown of the game to give him 12 total points scored. But Mormon with the PAT, if he gets it, that'll give him 13 points scored. So a little competition there.
Mormon. Kick is up and good. And Kalaheo with their 24th straight point unanswered so far. Can Kaimuki muster an answer on the other side of the break? It's 31-7 in favor of Kalaheo. You're listening to OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Great things come in threes, like the game-winning field goal, a hat trick, and Timmy T's Sandwich Shop, now with 3 locations: Kailua, the Moanalua Shopping Center, and the Kapahulu Shopping Center. Visit TimmyT's.com to skip the line and order online today.
Put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Aloha, beautiful people. Wake up in the den with me, Ku'ule Agbayani. Weekday mornings at 8, right here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Or listen on demand at hawaiisportsradio.com.
You're listening to OIA Athletics on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Brought to you by Hawaii Pacific Health.
The Mustangs do it again. Kalaheo floats the kickoff after the score up in the air. It takes a strange bounce back towards the Mustangs kickoff coverage team, and they jump on it as for the third time tonight, Kaimuki unable to handle or take the kickoff from Kalaheo. So now the Mustangs up 31-7, looking to add on once again. It'll be Weber back to the air, and deep down the sideline, incomplete. Goes for Andrew Taylor, who had a step on his defender, but Weber just overthrew him.
Yeah, I will say this, I think some of our commercial breaks are brought to you by the Kalaheo Mustangs because there's been 3 times now where we're in break and something positive has happened to them. There's the first one when Vance Ramolete went 62 yards. There's the second one when Jeremiah Toilolo had the interception. And the third one when number 66, Elijah Pai, gets the recovery on the onside kick attempt. So, if you're Kalaheo, you want to hear more commercial breaks here.
Apparently, as back to the ground goes Kalaheo, and Ramolete will run forward for a 3-yard gain, makes it 3rd down and 7 now for Kalaheo. Hey, in case you like OIA sports, maybe not football, but perhaps volleyball is your game. We have the girls volleyball Division I and Division II championships upcoming this Wednesday. Division II championship match is scheduled for 5:30 p.m. between Castle and Farrington, while the Division I match will follow. The teams still to be determined. You can hear those matchups on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network next week as Weber takes the snap and tries to find Kanai Joseph, who cannot handle it, out a little too much in front. And that'll bring up 4th down now for Kalaheo. And once again, in that strange territory between punting and going for it on 4th and long. And once again, it'll be Kalaheo going for it on 4th and long.
Yeah, now it was something positive that happens during the commercial breaks, not during the live reads. Kaimuki with the pressure during 3rd down.
And Weber just going to launch one up into the air and should have been intercepted. And instead goes through the hands of Lukella Hicks, and instead that probably is better off for Kaimuki as it's a turnover on downs. So instead of Hicks recovering or intercepting it down inside the 20-yard line for the Bulldogs, it'll be Kaimuki football out at their own 37-yard line, trailing 31-7.
I tell you what, though, he had a lot of real estate in front of him with open field. I think he wants that back because he could have probably housed that and get Kaimuki their 2nd defensive touchdown of the game.
Good call by you, as the first defensive touchdown of the game for Kaimuki was the one that tied it at 7 in the first quarter. I believe it was Hilton Edward who ended up having that fumble recovery. As Kaimuki looking for just their 2nd score of the night. Logan goes to the air over to the right side, finds Kui'i Matias, who works his way down the sidelines and out of bounds, but not before he picks up the 1st down. And the chains will move for Kaimuki, and you see why Kui'i Matias is so important for this offense for Kaimuki.
Yeah, solid blocking there that time downfield and in the backfield, because that almost was a loss, but a good solid block there on the sideline to free up Kui'i Matias. You know, it's kind of like the Rainbow Warriors today when they kind of got some positive plays with some good blocking on those screen plays.
Good blocking goes a long way. Back to the air goes Kaimuki. Gabriel Logan takes a big hit as he throws, complete to Kui'i Matias, who sneaks his way up for a 6-yard gain. Logan back up after taking that hit, as Kaimuki moving the ball down the field after forcing a turnover on downs. Trailing by 24, 7 minutes and 23 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter. The Bulldogs looking for any type of life on offense tonight against this Kalaheo defense that has been taking the ball away like crazy. Man in motion, and the ball is on the ground. Speaking of turnovers, Kaimuki might have just committed another one as a mishandled handoff finds the turf, and luckily for the Bulldogs, it is recovered by Kaimuki, and it'll make it 3rd down and 11. So some avoiding of a disaster there for Kaimuki. Almost saw the game's 10th turnover of the evening.
And again, Kaimuki without their starting center, and I believe that's Toloa Loketi. So they have a defensive lineman starting at center, and that's come back to bite Kaimuki in various junctures of this game.
Man in motion. Karatsu Cook goes out wide. Logan takes the snap and going to just have to throw it away as a couple of Kalaheo Mustangs were bearing down on the southpaw quarterback for Kaimuki. Looked like number 61, William Rapp, and number 52, Zeiston Santiago in on the play, forcing Gabriel Logan to have to get rid of that one. Makes it 4th down and 11 now for Kaimuki out near midfield.
Yes, that play kind of was going nowhere. Logan sent the running back in motion on a swing out pass, and he had no blockers on there. And Kalaheo able to get a free rusher at Logan. Logan wisely throws it out of bounds, but they're going to go for it on 4th down 31-7, and you almost kind of have to if you want to stay in this game.
You're right. It doesn't feel like a choice that you even get to make at this point. If you want to try and compete and come back in this one, you need to try and get points on this drive, as Logan will go to the air, fires it over to Lukella Hicks, and Hicks gonna complete the catch. Bobbled it at first, but secured it as the Kalaheo defender brought him to the ground. A great job by Lukella Hicks to stay focused right there, and we saw him drop that interception before. Much better focus on that to pick up a 1st down on 4th and long for Kaimuki.
Hey, definitely that drop interception. You get the ball back at the original line of scrimmage. maybe a smart headed play. That time, Lukela Hicks kind of had to wait for it, but solid job there holding on to the ball through contact. And that's the second time now tonight where Gabriel Logan has whoa, Barbietto just little. We mentioned the hard count. It finally came into play where Logan's able to get somebody to jump off sides, and now it's going to be 1st and 5 from the Kalaheo 32. If you're Kaimuki, you need to get points on this drive.
A really good job by you to bring that back up, because you're right. We've seen Gabriel Logan all night trying to bait this Kalaheo defense just a little bit with the hard count. And there looked like Nainoa Barbietto tried to time it up and just came sprinting off the right side. Called for offsides, and like you said, sets up 1st down and 5 inside Kalaheo territory. At the 32-yard line, Logan takes the snap, handoff to Karatsu Cook. He cuts back now to the left side, gets a block off to the sideline, and will make his way into the 10-yard, past the 10-yard line of Kalaheo. But a couple of flags fly back in the backfield, and we'll see if this one's coming back.
Yeah, we'll see what if that's going to come back. But you got to give credit again to the small fellow out there in Jeremiah Toilolo with the touchdown-saving tackle. You know, unfortunately, I can't do everything. I don't have full defensive stats, but Toilolo also in the running for the Timmy T's Grinder of the Game award.
It really feels like a multitude of Mustangs making themselves known all throughout this game, and a big reason why it is 31-7 in favor of Kalaheo at this point, as we're under 6 minutes left to play here in the third. And penalty is going to go against Kaimuki after the block in the back backs him on up. And it'll replay 1st down from the 37-yard line of Kalaheo. 1st and 10 for Kaimuki, takes away the big run by Karatsu Cook.
Yeah, so he got the 1st down, but because of the penalty, it brings it back.
And a little screen pass here, complete to Lukela Hicks. Gets a block and makes his way back out past the 25-yard line of Kalaheo. Picks up another set of fresh downs for Kaimuki. And a little bit of rhythm all of a sudden for this Kaimuki offense, Michael.
Yeah, and guess who with the the touchdown-saving tackle? Toilolo again. But I want to give the shout-out to these Kaimuki tackles that are getting out in the passing game and throwing some blocks downfield. That time was number 55, Rolton Mark from the left tackle, springing free. Lukela Hicks, Rolton Mark, 6'1", 322 senior. He's going to move people. And also Sam Mulitalo actually on the right side on those screens to Kui and Matias earlier in the game.
Wind starting to pick up here in Kalihi. Little screen dump off to Karatsu Cook will be wrapped up after a 2 or 3 yard gain. And if you are Kaimuki, those type of plays are a massive positive, because how many times tonight have you seen after a pickup of a 1st down or a big play for Kaimuki, a run that is stopped in the backfield, or a little screen that doesn't go too far, or an incomplete pass, where instead now 1st down after picking it up, you continue the positive yardage.
Yeah, Kalaheo really want us in the pressure, and Kaimuki's play caller doing a solid job countering that with some quick screen passes.
Logan looking towards the end zone on the right side, and it's going to be intercepted. Intercepted once again by Kalaheo's defense. And an excellent job by the Mustangs to hold strong, as it looked like Kaimuki was going to drive their way all the way to the end zone. And it's Kamalu Jordan coming up with the pick for Kalaheo over on the far sideline. Another turnover for Kaimuki, another turnover tonight. And it'll be 1st down for Kalaheo at their own 5-yard line, and a 24-point lead here in the third.
Yeah, I believe that's the 4th interception thrown by Logan tonight. And it's kind of unfortunate because Kaimuki was getting some solid action going in the run. I know they want to get some points on the board, but Hui Matias has been kind of double covered all night long. And again, Kamalu Jordan is actually one of the better offensive players, forced to play defense against their top weapon. So sometimes you don't want to try him like that.
And back to the ground goes Kalaheo. Ramaletto keeps the legs churning and pushes his way out to the 13-yard line of Kalaheo. Makes it 2nd down and 2 now for the Mustangs.
Yeah, Ramalete with that big 8-yard run. He's already above the century mark, so he's also another player that's in the running for the Timmy T's Grinder of the Game award.
Back to Ramalete they go. Breaking through one tackle, can't get through the second one before getting taken down. And we see flags fly and a hat fly from an official after the run. So we'll see what this is, as plenty going on between these two teams here tonight. And as the officials try and figure it on out, we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to OIA Football, presented by Timmy T's Sandwich Shop.
Home of the Los Angeles Clippers, KGU AM K236CR is the Hawaii Sports Radio Network on AM 760, 95.1 FM.
Paul Brecht, Michael Lascaro bringing the action between two OIA Division II programs here tonight. Reminds me to remind you to let you know Hawaii Sports Radio is proud to be the exclusive home, the radio home of OIA Sports. Visit hawaiisportsradio.com and click on the OIA Sports tab for broadcast updates, games on demand, photos, and more. As penalties going to go against Kalaheo and personal foul against Kaimuki. And then there was also a motion towards Kalaheo. As I mentioned before, multiple flags fly and a hat goes in, which typically means when an official has already tossed their flag and another thing happens. Still trying to figure it out here on the field.
Yeah, so it looks like it's a gain of 7 on the play, pending whatever happens with the flags. But maybe it's offsetting and it's just going to be, well, it's on the 7. They're going to march it back 10, half the distance to the goal, I believe. And then they're going to march it 15 yards against Kaimuki. So they're finally moving.
And our apologies as we try to explain what is going on here. No microphone for the officials, no relay upstairs from the officials, but a lot of appearances thus far from this officiating crew, with flags flying quite a bit here in the second half, and specifically third quarter, as 3:42 remaining in this third period. 31-7 is your score in favor of Kalaheo. The penalties end up resulting in a first down for Kalaheo from their own 25-yard line. Michael, like you mentioned before, one penalty against Kalaheo that backs them up, and then the personal foul against Kaimuki that pushes them on forward, sets up a new set of downs here at the 25.
Yeah, so the 7-yard run by Ramalete still stands, but Kalaheo kind of netted 5 yards out of that because their penalty was first applied to them, but because they were on the 20, instead of a 15-yard penalty against them, it was half the distance to go, so it was 10 yards, and then the 15-yard penalty against Kaimuki, so it worked out in Kalaheo's favor there.
And back to the ground goes Kalaheo. Ramaleto going to work his way into the teeth of the second layer, and taken down after a 15-yard gain is Vance Ramalete, who just continues to run angry tonight for Kalaheo, picking up another first down as we tick under 3 minutes to play in the third period.
Yep, he's grinding it out on the ground right now for the Kalaheo Mustangs.
Hard to feel that he's not well on his way to our Timmy T's Grinder of the Game award. Set up a screen pass here and going to be called incomplete. And luckily for Kalaheo, as it's close to being a backwards pass, which would have ended up being a fumble. Instead, incompletes the call, brings up 2nd down and 10 for the Mustangs from their own 40-yard line.
Yeah, I thought that was almost going to be a lateral and would have been a loss of yards, but officials on the sideline quickly to rule it an incomplete pass. Will be 2nd and 10.
And when officials come in that confident that quickly, I normally understand that that's probably the right call, as this one going to be swung on out to the right side to Jeremiah Toilolo, and Toilolo works his way past the 45-yard line of Kaimuki. Another big pickup for Kalaheo, And the Mustangs once again in business, already ahead by 24.
Yeah, but I think it is Toilolo on the. I think that is Toilolo on the ground for the Mustangs. So he just sat back up, so that's good sign to see. But you mentioned he's a guy that might be grinder of the game. You know, he now he's getting involved in the offensive side of things. He also has 2 interceptions on defense, and he recovered that opening kickoff for Kalaheo that really kind of set the tone for the Mustangs. So hopefully he's all right in case he might need to do some post-game interviews for the Grinder of the Game award.
There are plenty of Kalaheo players who perhaps should be getting themselves ready for that post-game interview. Of course, you can check that out on our social medias along with previous winners of Timmy T's Grinder of the Game awards. Follow Hawaii Sports Radio Network on social media for the behind-the-scenes content, breaking news and sports, and all things about OIA broadcasts going forward at Hi Sports Radio. That's HI Sports Radio on all platforms. As going to go a little shovel pass forward to Nainoa Barbietto, and fooling no one on the Kaimuki defense is that play as it's taken down for a 5-yard loss. Great job by Kaimuki recognizing that, and it'll make it 2nd down and 15 now for Kalaheo after the 5-yard loss.
Yeah, great read there that time by Elijah Ungeni. We mentioned him earlier in the game as one of those players that is dealing with an ankle injury that they suffered last week. Today's game, he's only playing defense, and he's showing why, with all the snaps and his effort, that he can make a play.
Jude Weber, the quarterback for Kalaheo, takes the snap, handoff, goes to the left side, stutter step and go. Off goes Vance Ramalete, who will finally be taken down after a gain of about 7. And a Kaimuki player down on the ground in some pain afterwards, as training staff immediately comes out the field to check on him. And as they do that, we'll step aside for a quick break. 31-7's your score in favor of Kalaheo. 1:40 remaining here in the 3rd quarter in this OIA Division II matchup of the Bulldogs and the Mustangs. Don't go too far. You're listening to OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Dial Electric Supply is Hawaii's premier lighting distributor and supplier, serving commercial and retail customers alike. Located at 2240 Kalua Opalena Street, Dial Electric's expanded retail showroom features one of the largest selections of lighting fixtures, fans, and smart home lighting solutions. Schedule an appointment with one of their design experts to create a home lighting design that you will enjoy for many years to come. Visit dialelectricsupply.com or give them a call at 808-845-7811.
No matter where you live, work, worship, or go to school on the island of Oahu, Ko'olau FCU wants you to join today.
What about here?
Yep.
Or here?
Yes, there too.
And over here?
You got it. If you live, work, worship, or go to school on the island of Oahu, you can join Ko'olau FCU today and discover the credit union difference. Visit ko'olaufcu.org for more info. Ko'olau Federal Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Back at Farrington High School, where Kaimuki trails Kalaheo 31-7, and Kaimuki defender just went down on the play before. Vance Ramalete's 7-yard run to set up a 3rd down and 3. He gets up and gets off the field after being tended to by a few different trainers for Kaimuki, and sets up a 3rd down on the way now for Kalaheo.
I think it's going to be a run play here, Paul.
Feels pretty good to guess that, as they've gone to Vance Ramalete quite a bit here in the second half, and for good reason, as they do that once again. Ramalete takes it and will be taken down in the backfield. A great job by Elijah Ngeni to get in there and take down the bruising back that is Vance Ramalete. It makes it a 4th down and, let's call it, 3 yards to gain. And once again, the Kalaheo offense will remain on the field. Under a minute left to play here in the third quarter. 24-point lead for the Kalaheo Mustang. Weber takes the snap, looks left, fires left, complete, and brought down after a gain of about 12 there is number 9, Kamalu Jordan.
Yeah, one of the better passes tonight by Weber. Looks like he's finally shaken off whatever was ailing him in the first 3 quarters, you know. Maybe it's kind of like the free throws or like the yips where you just need to get it out of your system or you're just in a shooting funk, but he's looking good there on that 4th down conversion.
You're right. Weber looking far better in this second half as handoff goes to Barbietto around the right side, has a couple of blockers and will finally get taken down inside the Kaimuki 10-yard line. Gets into the 6. And he'll set up first down and goal for Kalaheo as the third quarter clock continues to roll down. 17 seconds and winding here, and a 24-point lead for Kalaheo.
Yeah, it's been a while since we said Barbietto's name. You know, he was kind of the guy early going in the first couple of drives that were really was the engine for Kalaheo's offense. So good to see him with a little bit fresher legs as Kalaheo takes us to the third quarter break.
And that is exactly what Kalaheo does. Takes us to the break, sends us to the fourth quarter as the Mustangs lead Kaimuki 31-7 here at Edward Skippa Diaz Stadium. Don't want to miss the fourth quarter of action as Kalaheo driving once again. We'll be right back. You're listening to OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Here's Dr. Jamie Fukui with a health tip from Hawaii Pacific Health.
When it comes to breast cancer, early detection could save your life. That's why it's recommended all women get a mammogram every year, starting at age 40, or younger if there's a history of breast cancer in your family. Schedule your mammogram today at one of our medical centers or clinics. Women who get a mammogram in October will receive a special gift while supplies last.
Online scheduling is easy at hawaiipacifichealth.org/mammogram.
Timmy T's Sandwich Shop presents OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. Listen live to all the hard-hitting action on 95.1 FM, AM 760, or hawaiisportsradio.com. Exclusively on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Great things come in threes, like the game-winning field goal, a hat trick, and Timmy T's Sandwich Shop, now with 3 locations: Kailua, the Moanalua Shopping Center, and the Kapahulu Shopping Center. Visit TimmyT's.com to skip the line and order online today.
OIA Athletics on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Fourth quarter action here from Farrington High School. 31-7's your score as Kalaheo leads Kaimuki in a battle between OIA Division II foes. Albrecht Michael Lascaro bringing the action, and bringing the action to the end zone for the third time tonight is Vance Ramalete, who spins his way right past the goal line, and a couple of offensive linemen do the bring the boom dance for Kalaheo as the Mustangs bringing the boom to Kaimuki up 37-7 as we just underway here in the fourth.
I think the officials are flagging Kalaheo for that little boom dance, but that, like you said, that is Ramolete's 3rd touchdown of the game, Paul. And Paul, I don't know if it's in your live reads, but don't good things come in threes?
Good things do come in threes, and it does remind me that you have to stick around for the post-game show as we have to give out our Timmy T's Grinder of the Game, the Player of the Game award that goes to whoever grinded it out most for their team to bring them to victory, as tonight plenty of different players on the way there for Kalaheo. Timmy T's Grinders. Elevate your next team event with Timmy T's. Visit TimmyT's.com to pre-order sandwich trays, cookie platters, and pickle buckets. As still trying to figure out what the flag is here by the officials. As you mentioned, came in late after the touchdown was scored by Vance Ramalete, who up to 3 touchdowns on the evening. And it's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct going against Kalaheo that will be enforced on the kickoff as the Mustangs get ready for a PAT. Back in comes Locke Mormon, who we have talked about quite a bit tonight. He had his name in the running for a while for that Timmy T's Grinder of the Game award, but his second half performance by Vance Ramolete has certainly catapulted the running back up those rankings, as the PAT is up and good. And a 38-7 lead now for Kalaheo over Kaimuki, just 6 seconds into the fourth quarter. Don't go too far, we'll be right back. You're listening to OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Great things come in threes, like the game-winning field goal, a hat trick, and Timmy T's Sandwich Shop, now with 3 locations: Kailua, the Moanalua Shopping Center, and the Kapahulu Shopping Center. Visit TimmyTees.com to skip the line and order online today.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
Hawaii Pacific Health proudly presents Hawaii Pacific University Athletics on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. Listen live to HPU Sharks women's volleyball and more on 95.1 FM AM 760 or at hawaiisportsradio.com.
$38-7, Kalaheo putting it on Kaimuki here at Farrington High School, as the Mustangs just able to take advantage of turnovers and extra opportunities, as this one popped up in the air and going to be recovered once again by Kalaheo. For the 4th time tonight, Kalaheo recovers the kickoff, as unable to handle it was Sam Muitalo, the offensive tackle for Kaimuki out there on the kickoff team, and got his hands on it at first, but skipped away from him after touching the turf, and Kalaheo will have it at the 50-yard line 4 times tonight, Michael. The Mustangs have recovered that kickoff that they have been kicking off. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Yeah, and that's credit Connor Martinez being the fourth one to get in there to get that recovery, and it's Kalaheo's ball. If they get a score here, we might go into the running clock.
And good call out by you as we approach the running clock territory, as once again Vance Ramolete powers his way forward and bounced through a hit from, I believe it was Ezekiel Matthias, and Ramolete just bounced off him and kept on going, picked up the first down. Another big run by the big back for Kalaheo.
Yeah, that gain of about 12 yards there on that play. He is definitely grinding it up.
20 rushes for over 150 yards and 3 touchdowns right now for the running back, as they'll go to Nainoa Barbietto. And he will be wrapped up and taken down after a 5-yard gain, as Barbietto, like you mentioned before, Michael, the guy early for this Kalaheo offense, but then kind of went quiet for the middle section of this game.
Yeah, Kui Matias, that looked like Barbietto going to bounce it outside and score a touchdown, but Kui Matias showing his athleticism and his speed to kind of limit that for only about a 3-4 yard gain.
2nd down and 6 now for Kalaheo. Weber looks to the sideline. Now ready for the snap. Takes the snap, handoff, goes to Barbietto. Off the right side and taken down just before the line to gain. It'll be a 4-yard pickup, and 3rd down and 1 on the way for Kalaheo, as we tick under 11 minutes left to play here in the 4th quarter.
But yeah, shout out Barbietto and Ramolete, because they're not really the 2 top ball carriers for this Kalaheo squad. That honor goes to Bubs Matthew Pine as well as Kamalu Jordan. I mean, now Ramolete is the leading rusher for this team, but they really are stepping it up, and I like the depth that Kalaheo is showing on their squad. They're not just limited to a few players.
And Barbietto will take another handoff. Up the middle, now bounces off the left side. has a couple of blockers ahead of him and will be worked out of bounds right around the Kaimuki 13-yard line. Another big run for the Kalaheo rushing attack. And the Mustangs down 31 points with less than 10 minutes to play. The offense hasn't really been able to get much going throughout the evening, but you do want to escape this one mostly healthy still, and it's incredibly important just going forward for Kalaheo to do something similar if they want to make the playoffs and make a run in those playoffs. Have to stay healthy, need to take care of yourself.
Yeah, they come up closer to the line and trying to rush this play.
And another handoff to Barbietto will be swarmed by Kaimuki defenders after picking up about 1 yard, and sets up 3rd and 4. And now, just as I said, don't want to lose anybody to injury. Down goes Nainoa Barbietto in some pain here for for Kalaheo, as gonna see what's going on with him. And in the meantime, we'll step aside for a quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening to OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Dial Electric Supply is Hawaii's premier lighting distributor and supplier, serving commercial and retail customers alike. Located at 2240 Kalua Opalena Street, Dial Electric's expanded retail showroom features one of the largest selections of lighting fixtures, fans, and smart home lighting solutions. Schedule an appointment with one of their design experts to create a home lighting design that you will enjoy for many years to come. Visit dialelectricsupply.com or give them a call at 808-845-7811.
Man, I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, you know? I wanted to get back in the game, so I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students, and I get paid to make the big calls. Do you want to see the game up close? Sign up to become an official in Hawaii at highschoolofficials.com.
OIA Athletics on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Brought to you by Dial Electric Supply.
OIA Sports on HSRN is brought to you in part by Hawaii Pacific Health. Hawaii Pacific Health takes the team approach to providing the expert care you need when and where you need it. Together, we are creating a healthier Hawaii. Nainoa Barbietto, the player injured for Kalaheo, got up and walked off under his own power and had to be held out for a singular snap. Still waiting to see him go back out onto the field, but in the meantime, a gain of about 2 yards for Kalaheo makes it 4th down and 1, and a flag going to fly here, and it looks as though it's going to go against Kaimuki.
Yep, it'll be a 1st down and goal from the 2-yard line for the Mustangs, and they just need one more score here. A touchdown, actually. They need a touchdown, not a field goal, for it to go to running clock.
And all night tonight, we've continued to harp on the fact that Kaimuki, not that far away, but it seems that every time a little bit of positive momentum or a big play is coming up, they strike themselves in the foot as the handoff goes once again to Vance Ramolete, and the ball's out. The ball is out and recovered by Kaimuki with a lot of grass in front of him. Number 3 for Kaimuki, Spencer Scheffler, going to take it on out past midfield before finally getting pushed out of bounds. A big, big turnover for Kaimuki. After looking like Kalaheo was going to score once again, Kaimuki forces another takeaway on defense, and in the meantime, a couple of players down, as one down for Kaimuki and one down for Kalaheo, with just over 8 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter. Both of them down in some pain after the forced fumble and recovery by Spencer Scheffler, the 6'2" senior for Kaimuki.
Yeah, I mean, Ramolete was trying to fight for his 4th touchdown. He is wearing number 44, so trying to match the numbers on his jersey, but a little bit extra effort kind of came back to bite them, as Scheffler out of nowhere Spencer Scheffler. I almost called him Scotty Scheffler. But like number 3, he almost got a touchdown all the other way. And Kaimuki has life, We kept talking about running clock. Looks like it's going to be game on
said,
for
run
Kaimuki.
this clock.
Yeah.
And players down on the ground for Kalaheo were Vance Ramolete and Sean Ukiardi. Both of them up and walking off under their own power. Still on the ground is the Kaimuki player. And as the teams still figure this one out, we'll step away once again for another break. You're listening to OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Great things come in threes, like the game-winning field goal, a hat trick, and Timmy T's Sandwich Shop, now with 3 locations: Kailua, the Moanalua Shopping Center, and the Kapahulu Shopping Center. Visit TimmyT's.com to skip the line and order online today.
Put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Aloha, beautiful people. Wake up in the den with me, Ku'ule Agbayani. Weekday mornings at 8, right here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Or listen on demand at hawaiisportsradio.com.
You're listening to OIA Athletics on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Brought to you by Hawaii Pacific Health.
And finally figured it all out back here as a couple of players leaving for Kalaheo, one player leaving for Kaimuki. The Kaimuki player, number 54, Sam Mulitalo.
I believe we have a new center now for Kaimuki.
And first snap goes as a handoff to Karatsu Cook, trying to work his way off the left side and will be met and tackled for a 1-yard loss. Second down and 11 coming on up for Kaimuki.
Yeah, so with Mulitalo hurt on that play, he's the right tackle. That forces Kaizen Kapahu Medeiros, who was the center coming into this game, in place of the injured Toloa Loketi. He goes to right tackle, and now we have a freshman, Rome Edward, at center for the Bulldogs.
Injuries causing both teams to go with some different personnel. That Sports Injury Report brought to you by Hawaii Pacific Health, creating a healthier Hawaii. Logan going to go to the air once again, finds Kui'i Matias. That's Lukela Hicks, who will work his way out to the 40-yard line of Kalaheo. And it'll be third down and 3 upcoming for Kaimuki. Nice job there by Hicks to pick up a chunk.
Yeah, I like Hicks, man. He has some really soft hands on the offense that we've seen. I just see Kaizen Medeiros kind of practicing his pass blocking stance there in the huddle. So this is going to probably be a passing play.
I like that scouting report right there as 2 receivers split out to the left of Gabriel Logan. The southpaw quarterback takes the snap, hands off to Karatsu Cook. So instead, it's a running attack here on 3rd and short. And right near the line to gain, looks like he might have been just a little bit short. We'll see where the officials spot it. But Karatsu Cook working right near the first down marker.
They fooled me. And great job that time by Kaimuki to have that little fake and to run the ball. But it looks like it's going to be 4th and short here, needing about iPhone length to get the first down.
I was going to say, by the naked eye up here, you cannot really tell the difference between the line to gain and the line of scrimmage. So 4th and inches here for Kaimuki. Gabriel Logan in the shotgun. Gets ready to take the snap. Gives to Karatsu Cook up the middle. Gets a block off the right side. Working his way to the sideline. Picked up the first down and a little bit more. Right near the Kalaheo 30-yard line, Zachariah Karatsu Cook with a nice little scamper there to pick up a first.
Yeah, and this is kind of a different running attack that Kaimuki is using. He's running off the field right now, but I want to give a shout out to number 34 as the H-back, blocking back for Karatsu Cook. Dante Hanawahine Vasquez, he is coming, giving that little block and the little sift motion, and blocking the backside that allows Karatsu Cook to go down the right side and pick up the first down.
So it'll be first down from the Kalaheo 31 for Kaimuki. Gabriel Logan, once again, in the shotgun, goes to handoff. Karatsu Cook. Ooh, face mask going to be called here as Karatsu Cook picks up a couple of yards, but clear as day, could see it up here. Cook's face mask snaps back as Kalaheo going to be whistled for a personal foul right here.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see if the penalty is attached to the end of the run or from the start of the play, because if it's from the start of the play, that's a 15-yard penalty. It'll give them a first down at the 16-yard line, but if it's at the end of the run, it'll be half the distance to go, so that would give them a first down at the 14-yard line. So looks like they're going to give them the 3 yards for the run, and they're going to tack on 14 yards, half the distance to go for against the Kalaheo Mustangs. So it will be 1st and 10 at the Kalaheo 14-yard line.
A big penalty called against Kalaheo, as I apologize, the chuckle because the white cap tossed a flag for another official back towards the official and ended up hitting a Kaimuki offensive lineman in the back. And so now it'll be first down from the 14-yard line and a loose ball. Bad snap Gabriel Logan had to fall on. And we've seen that a few times tonight when Kaimuki starts to get it going offensively, perhaps get a little bit too excited, and a mishandled snap there goes down for a 3-yard loss. Second down and 13 now for Kaimuki with 5 minutes remaining here.
Yeah, smart play by Logan just to fall on that. You know, they are down to their third-string center, who is a freshman, Rome Edward.
So the snap goes to Logan. Fakes the handoff, now will feed on out. There's Talon Domingo, and Domingo still on his feet before finally getting taken down, picking up about 6 yards or so. And no, pardon me, it'll be about 4 yards as the forward progress was stopped of Talon Domingo.
Yeah, Domingo had a really solid first quarter and first half. He had 3 receptions for 36 yards, but this is the first time we've called his name on offense since then. So he definitely needs to be involved in this passing, in this offense for the Kaimuki Bulldogs.
Yeah, and that's a little disappointing if you are a Bulldogs fan, where you saw Domingo have such a hot start to this game, and then you add Kui'i Matias to it, and instead it doesn't go, as this one out to the right side to Karatsu Cook, who's going to work in for a touchdown. Zachariah Karatsu Cook sneaks out of the backfield and works his way forward for a touchdown. The first offensive touchdown of the night for Kaimuki. Makes it 38-13 with a PAT on the way for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, you got to credit the blocking downfield by the Kaimuki Bulldogs, by the pass catchers, to set up that touchdown catch and run. First, you got to start with the wide receiver, Marbet Ungeni, who's listed as 5'11", 180 junior. Then in the slot with Talon Domingo. And on the wideout, you have number 8, Lukela Hicks. So solid job and solid execution by the Kaimuki Bulldogs. Hey, and again, give credit to Spencer Scheffler for getting that fumble recovery, taking it to about midfield to prevent this game going to running clock. And if you're Kaimuki, hey, let's finish this game on a strong note and let's get another touchdown on the board.
And as I said before, a PAT was on the way. Might be a 2-point conversion try, and a bad snap directly back, and Kaimuki going to have to just fall on it, as the 2-point conversion is no good. So with 3:52 remaining, it'll be a 38-13 lead for Kalaheo following the score by Zachariah Karatsu Cook for Kaimuki. And time winding down in this one, but if you're a fan of HSRN broadcasts, if you're a fan of local sports, can tune in tomorrow as we have HPU women's volleyball taking on Hilo. The women of Hawaii Pacific falling in 4 sets last night to nationally ranked Chaminade. Number 10 in the nation are the Silver Swords. And a good fight put up by the Sharks in that one. That broadcast brought to you by Hawaii Pacific Health, creating a healthier Hawaii. Be sure to tune in to that as the Sharks look to pick up just their second conference win of the season and also come back from a sweep that happened this past Monday against the Vulcans, but one that was a little bit closer than the final results would indicate. That one will be on our airwaves tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Yeah, and Kaimuki, they are in this. I wonder if they're going to go for an onside kick here. You almost kind of have to. I see Scheffler out there, Spencer Scheffler, so I wonder if the ball is going to go towards his way. But Kaimuki, you probably out of reach for you, but you can still end this game on a positive note.
It's going to take quite a bit to come back in this one, but like you said, still the ability to end on a high note. Finally getting your first offensive touchdown of the night on that last drive, following a great defensive play to rip the ball away and bring it out past midfield as a little squib kick down the seam. Kalaheo will fall on it at their own 25-yard line, and a nice job by the hands team of the Mustangs to make sure no funny business happens there on the kickoff.
Yeah, that was kind of getting dicey. I think if you are the special teams for Kaimuki, you kind of want that kick a little bit shorter to give your guys an opportunity to get down there. But Kaimuki, again, we mentioned it in that first quarter, 7 total turnovers from both teams, down to 9 in that second quarter. So Kalaheo definitely playing it a little bit more conservative and not wanting to give Kaimuki another opportunity.
Mentioned HPU volleyball before. I want to remind you once again that next week we'll have the girls volleyball Division I and Division II championships this upcoming Wednesday. Division II championship match scheduled for 5:30 p.m. between Castle and Farrington, while the Division I match will follow. Those teams still to be determined on Monday. To the ground goes Kalaheo and run forward for about 6 or 7 yards goes number 33, Connor Martinez. Martinez, the sophomore, plays linebacker and running back for this Kalaheo team. So now, after especially seeing a couple of players go down due to injury after the last offensive snap you took, Kalaheo taking no more chances here with a 25-point lead in hand and just over 3 minutes remaining here in regulation. Kalaheo takes the snap, handoff once again, goes Martinez. Martinez breaks one tackle, working his way through another before finally being taken down out past the 45-yard line of Kalaheo. And that'll be a first down for the Mustangs. Nice job there by the sophomore Martinez. Running angry, running hard, and picking up a first down as Kaimuki will take a timeout. Gives me an opportunity to remind you that this broadcast is brought to you in part by, and OIA Sports in general are brought to you in part by Hawaii Pacific Health. Hawaii Pacific Health takes the team approach to providing the expert care you need when and where you need it. Together, we are creating a healthier Hawaii. And with just 3 minutes remaining in this one, quite a bit has been figured out. But what hasn't been figured out quite yet, who is going to win our Timmy T's Grinder of the Game award? Timmy T's Sandwich Shop. Elevate your next team event with Timmy T's. Visit TimmyT's.com to pre-order sandwich trays, cookie platters, and pickle buckets.
Oh, I think we know who that award's going to go to already, Paul.
Well, perhaps we know, Michael, but the beautiful people tuning on in, you're going to have to stick around to find out during our post-game report, as Kalaheo looking to put the finishing touches on this one, leading 38-13 with 3 minutes remaining. And across the island tonight, or just today, I guess, in general, some good matchups, as we had Kapolei taking on Mililani, hosting Mililani, the number 2 team in Hawaii. and falling to the Trojans 21-13 on homecoming. A really fun game between those two. And then up on the North Shore right now, Campbell leading Kahuku 21-6 as Jaren Keave Songopola out there putting on a show. But the newest quarterback to Hawaii, Matai Fuiava, also making his debut for the Red Raiders. Back to live action here at Farrington High School. Handoff once again goes to Martinez as Connor Martinez, making himself known as perhaps the next running back to come through Kalaheo. We already have talked about Vance Ramalete ad nauseum tonight, who has 166 yards and 3 touchdowns for the Kalaheo offense, along with a fumble recovery as well.
Yeah, Martinez, he also recovered that onside kick attempt, or that muff onside, where the up back was able to unhandle it. So he's showing that he can get it done in both ways.
Under 3 minutes to play. Once again, they'll go to Martinez off the left side, working his way past a couple of Kaimuki defenders before getting taken down. 5-yard gain for the sophomore running back, makes it 2nd down and 5 now for Kalaheo. Into Kaimuki territory once again, though that hasn't quite meant points tonight for Kalaheo, as we've seen the ability to take the football away by this Kaimuki defense. Saw it just as the Mustangs were driving on their last possession at the 1-yard line, gets it ripped out and taken away. And Martinez going to be met in the backfield, escapes the first defender before getting met by a couple more. And it'll be a 4 or 5 yard loss for Connor Martinez there. Sets up 3rd down and 10 now for Kalaheo.
I believe that's number 60 with the tackle, but I don't have a number 60 on my roster, so...
We did mention before the game a few players for Kaimuki being elevated, I should say, from the junior varsity level. Led to some number changes and to some new faces for this Bulldogs team. Still at 0-5, looking for their first win this season, and looks like it won't come tonight against Kalaheo, as we have just over a minute remaining here. Once again to the ground goes the Mustangs, and Martinez bounces outside, taken down at the line of scrimmage. And it'll be 4th down and 10 coming on up. One last opportunity for Kaimuki to pick up a victory this season, as next week they will face off against Kalani at Kaiser High School. That game at 6 p.m. And that one, an opportunity for Kaimuki, perhaps.
Yeah, well, Kaimuki has an opportunity to get the ball back, but if you want to do something with it, you got to call timeout, because we're under 27 seconds now.
And really taking their time is Kalaheo here with 20 seconds remaining. 4th down and 10. And
number 2 just went off the other...
I'm not totally sure what Kalaheo is doing right now, as you said it before. Number 2, Kanai Joseph, goes offside right there to back up the Mustangs even more. And the false start will make it a 4th and 15 now for Kalaheo.
But does the clock start when the play clock starts now after the penalty? Remember, we saw that with the Oregon game,
which was already corrected and changed by the NCAA.
And the clock is running. The clock is running, so this is going to be it.
And kind of like you mentioned, similar a bit, some clock trickery here by Kalaheo to just run out the final minutes of this one, as Kalaheo comes up with an important win over Kaimuki, keeps the Bulldogs winless on the year. 38-13 is your final here from Farrington High School. Don't go too far. We still have post-game breakdown and analysis. Plus, on the way, our Timmy T's Grinder of the Game Award. Stick around to find out who that is coming up next. You're listening to OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Great things come in threes, like the game-winning field goal, a hat trick, and Timmy T's Sandwich Shop, now with 3 locations: Kailua, the Moanalua Shopping Center, and the Kapahulu Shopping Center. Visit TimmyTees.com to skip the line and order online today.
Here's Dr. Jamie Fukui with a health tip from Hawaii Pacific Health.
When it comes to breast cancer, early detection could save your life. That's why it's recommended all women get a mammogram every year, starting at age 40, or younger if there's a history of breast cancer in your family. Schedule your mammogram today at one of our medical centers or clinics. Women who get a mammogram in October will receive a special gift while supplies last.
Online scheduling is easy at hawaiipacifichealth.org/mammogram.
Dial Electric Supply is Hawaii's premier lighting distributor and supplier, serving commercial and retail customers alike. Located at 2240 Kalua Opalena Street, Dial Electric's expanded retail showroom features one of the largest selections of lighting fixtures, fans, and smart home lighting solutions. Schedule an appointment with one of their design experts to create a home lighting design that you will enjoy for many years to come. Visit dialelectricsupply.com or give them a call at 808-845-7811.
Aloha, beautiful people. Wake up in the den with me, Kule Agbayani, along with Paul Brecht and Michael Lescaro, weekday mornings at 8, right here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Or listen on demand at hawaiisportsradio.com. You can even watch the show every Monday on our YouTube channel. Want to get in on the conversation? Shoot us a text at 808-888-KGU1. That's 808-888-5481.
Great things come in threes, like the game-winning field goal, a hat trick, and Timmy T's Sandwich Shop, now with 3 locations: Kailua, the Moanalua Shopping Center, and the Kapahulu Shopping Center. Visit TimmyTees.com to skip the line and order online today.
(38-13) your final here from Farrington High School as Kalaheo takes down Kaimuki. 25-point victory for the Mustangs here at Farrington as Kalaheo keeps their OIA Division II playoff hopes alive. Kaimuki remains winless, drops to 0-6 on the year. Paul Brecht, Michael Lescaro breaking down the action for you here tonight as the Bulldogs attempted and looked as though they were going to be in this one early. 7-7 after a quarter of play, a defensive score for the Bulldogs coming up big time, but then right out of the second quarter break immediately, Kalaheo with 2 touchdowns in 73 seconds. This one, a ton of turnovers, over 10 turnovers combined between the two schools. Gabriel Logan finishes his day 12 of 23 for 130 yards, a touchdown, and 4 interceptions as Kaimuki falls to 0-6, scoring in the first and final quarter. And on the other side for Kalaheo, while it wasn't an impressive game in the air, on the ground, nothing but success for the Mustangs as Vance Ramalete, Nainoa Barbietto, and really every single one of these Kalaheo Mustangs found production on the ground throughout the evening. And now Kalaheo moves on to continue fighting for their playoff lives as the Mustangs head to Castle next week for a massive matchup against the Knights, a very, very quality OIA Division II program. That one at 7 p.m. on Friday night. And tonight for them, it really was the running game, and it brings us to our Timmy T's Grinder of the Game award section as Vance Ramalete will be your winner tonight. 23 carries for 166 yards, 3 touchdowns, including the go-ahead score to start the second quarter, rushing 62 yards down the field for a touchdown that put Kalaheo ahead and never let the Mustangs look back again, as the young man just completely dominated against that Kaimuki Bulldogs defense all night. One more time, Vance Ramalete is your Timmy T's grinder of the game. Timmy T's, elevate your next team event with Timmy T's. Visit TimmyT's.com to pre-order sandwich trays, cookie platters, and pickle buckets. That'll just about do it for us here tonight from Farrington High School, as Kaimuki falls to Kalaheo 38-13. Want to give you a couple of reminders before we get out of here that in case you're a fan of HPU volleyball, you can tune in tomorrow for a local rivalry game as the Vulcans of UH Hilo come on over to visit the Shark Tank and face off against the Hawaii Pacific Sharks. That game kicks off, first serve at 2 p.m. You can hear that on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. Chaz Mihara and Kara McLean on that call. I want to thank you so much for tuning in tonight for this OIA football broadcast. For my partner, Michael Lascaro, for Ku'ule Agbayani back in the studio, making sure we're on air, sounding good. I'm Paul Brecht. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Aloha.
You've been listening to the Hawaii Sports Radio Network special presentation of OIA Athletics and the featured Game of the Week on 95.1 FM and AM 760. Brought to you by Hawaii Pacific Health.
Creating a healthier Hawaii.
DSE Hawaii.
Providing customer value.
And Dial Electric Supply.
Hawaii's premier lighting distributor and supplier.
Tonight's game was made possible also in part thanks to the following: play-by-play announcers Paul Brecht and Michael Lascaro, and operations director and in-studio technical engineer Ku'ule Agbayani. Visit hawaiisportsradio.com for a complete programming guide of upcoming games and more. We now return you to regular scheduled programming right here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Great things come in threes, like the game-winning field goal, a hat trick, and Timmy T's Sandwich Shop, now with 3 locations: Kailua, the Moanalua Shopping Center, and the Kapahulu Shopping Center. Visit TimmyT's.com to skip the line and order online today.
It's been said that when someone you love has Parkinson's, you